short tracks, hoping to win NASCAR's Grand National Championship. Now it's come May at Charlotte, North Carolina, and look who's here to grab a piece of a whopping $275,000 payday. This World Sports presentation of the Champion Spark Plug 300.
Over 100,000 fans are in their places. 42 drivers are in their cars. And one of the largest purses of the season is in the till as we bring you live on World Sports, the Champion Spark Plug 300 from the great Charlotte Motor Speedway. On the mile-and-a-half today, it's 300 miles, 200 laps of competition. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ken Squire. Welcome aboard for our flag-to-flag coverage today. I'm delighted to have alongside a two-time winner here at Charlotte, Neil Bonnet, and also our old cohort, Johnny Hayes, is with us.
Ken, 5 years ago, the Winston Cup drivers dominated this race. The little guys had no chance at all, but now things have changed. They're no longer intimidated by them. They don't care. They're not scared of Earnhardt. Bring it on, baby. So they're going for it today. Just watch our guys go to the front.
All right, Grand National versus Winston Cup, and one of the all-time greats, Neil Bonnet. Big change from a half mile to a mile-and-a-half. You get ready to go today.
Ken, these guys run basically all their races on half-mile racetracks. They look for this opportunity to come to a big, fast racetrack like this, jump on the Dale Earnhardts, the Harry Gants. They want to showcase their ability at this track. They're geared up and ready to go racing.
And we're just about ready to go racing. The driver introductions have been completed. For more on the story, let's go to the Igloo Pit Center, and joining us there is Bob Barcia.
Thank you, Ken. Hello, everyone. Just how tough has it been to get into the field for this $250,000 spectacular? Consider that a few moments ago, a 100-mile last-chance qualifying race gave us our final 4 starters, 3 Winston Cup regulars, and the All-Pro Short Track National Champion, Joe Nemechek. 5-time Busch Grand National champ Jack Ingram is not in the field for this race. Our pole sitter is a man of great experience, but not so much in these 3,200-pound V6 race cars. Let's meet him now with Ralph Shaheen.
Thank you, Bob. That's right. This is the 3rd Busch Grand National race for Dick Trickle, only his 2nd of the year. Now, Dick, you haven't had a whole lot of experience in these cars, but you're starting from the pole and a lot of tough competition behind you. What's it going to take to cash in on that big paycheck today?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of Winston Cup stars in this Busch race here, plus the regulars that run Busch. I mean, they just don't have the financial abilities to race the Winston Cup, but they're good runners. So now I'm proud to, put this red coat steel Pontiac on the pole, and hopefully, we can lead a few laps here and ring that bell at the midpoint and at the end of the race.
Well, there's some other big names that are not having quite as good a week as Dick Trickle. Let's go back down the grid to Charlie Harville. Charlie?
Patty Moise, some would say that this race on this super speedway is vital to your future. How do you feel?
Well, we consider all the races important, and certainly the super speedways are more important. But, if you put one race down as being all important to your career, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. I mean, something could happen at any time.
Patty, starting back on row 14, there's another man even further back. Chuck Bound is the points leader in the Busch Grand National Division. He's won 3 of the last 4 races, but he's starting back in row 16 today, and you wonder what he will do from back there. Chuck Bound starting this far back. Will you try to go to front in the hurry?
Well, I'm going to do my best, Charlie. It's not going to be easy. We've been struggling just a little bit this week, but we're going to do our darndest to get this Nescafe Pontiac to the front.
All right, thank you, Charlie. Speaking of guys with problems, let me tell you the story of what happened to Harry Gant in yesterday's last minutes of practice. He was underneath Dale Earnhardt, hit some oil down in turn 3, didn't hit Dale, but pounded the outside wall hard. The car was off the racetrack all night getting fixed. As a result, Harry Gant will take his position on the outside of the front row alongside Dick Trickle, but he will have to move to the back of the pack before they take the green flag. Let's find out more about how Harry feels about that. Here's Ralph Shaheen.
Hey, how do you feel about having to go to the back of the pack here?
Well, I don't mind. That's a rule, and the situation we're in with a brand new frame and working all night and trying to get all the oil lines and everything hooked up, it's better that you do. That way it gives you a chance to find out if anything's wrong.
All right, good luck to Harry Gant. With 100,000 fans on hand, that gives us plenty to talk about. And doing that for us today will be our man in the grandstands, Mark Pfister. Mark?
Thank you very much, Bob. You know, NASCAR fans are some of the most friendliest, cordial fans you'll ever meet in any sport in the United States of America. And we're in the middle of the stands, middle of 100,000 people, talking to a lot of them. They come from all over America to be here. This gentleman, a retired naval officer, is driven all the way from Norfolk, Virginia to be with us. It's Chuck Mulligan. Chuck, you pulling for who this afternoon?
Can't you read your cert, son?
Oh, leave me alone. Oh, they are just a bunch of fun people in the stands. Back to you, Ken.
That's what motorsports is all about right here on NESN. Racing delivers that action each and every week. The best in motorsport, short track style right here in New England. The NASCAR Winston Modified Tour. DIRT racing action at its best. The Coors Act Tour, Busch Grand Nationals, and more. It's racing's winning team, NESN and...
Today to be run in 2 segments. 102 laps of competition. Then the flag will be thrown. The field will come on pit road. And then we'll prepare for the second 98 laps. Now you see the field beginning to roll out. Parked down the start-finish line area. And we're going to see Harry Gant's car number 7, his qualified second, go all the way to the rear. Not quite. He'll start in front of the consolation racers. There you see him, and he's right beside Dick Trickle, the pole sitter, number 92. Second time in his career that Dick Trickle has been on the pole for a Grand National race. Terrific crowd out for this tremendous weekend of motorsports. Better than 160 when they settle down for business. Get ready to race here. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for this Champion Spark Plug 300 today. Dick Trickle is on the pole. He's done it with a Pontiac. And starting alongside is Harry Gant, and he'll be further back when they actually come down for the green after he crashed yesterday. In row number 2, Dale Jarrett is there, the 1988 winner of the event. And on the outside is Sterling Marlin from Tennessee. For row 3, it's Davey Allison, Ford. And then alongside Chevrolet, and then Ronald Cooper is there. Watch for this guy to do some great running from Georgia today. Row 4, Jeff Burton on the inside, and on the outside is Dana Patton, his best qualifying ever from Enfield, New Hampshire. For row 5, Ken Schrader is there in the number 52 car. And alongside is Randy Baker in car number 88. Field into the back straightaway for the first of the 2 preliminary laps. L.D. Ottinger, he'll start on the inside of row 6. He's won a race this year, and Jack Sprague is alongside in row 7. There you find Dale Earnhardt. He's found victory here at Charlotte in these races before, and that big number 3. And Jimmy Hensley is right there, who won at Nazareth. Then in row 8, it's Morgan Shepherd, a 2-time winner of the event, and Darrell Waltrip, who needs no introduction, 8 tall. Row number 9, Bobby Labonte is there, Terry's younger brother, and Bobby Moon, just 21 years old. Row 10 is Tommy Ellis, the former Grand National champion, and Greg Sachs. Row 11 is Michael Waltrip, and with him comes Tom Peck in that row 11 area. Row 12, Elton Sawyer, former winner, Grand National competition, and Rick Maz from Virginia. Row 13 is Kenny Wallace. It's Rusty's younger brother, and Bobby Hamilton out of Tennessee. What a runner he is. Row 14, Kyle Petty and Patty Moise. For row 15 today, Jeff Perfez and Dave Resendez from up in Massachusetts. In the remainder of the field, going to row 16, or rather row 16, Bobby Hamilton, Chuck Baum, and then in row 17, Billy Stanbridge and Steve Grissom from Alabama. Row 18 is Davey Johnson and Donnie Ling. Row 19, Tommy Houston, who made such a great run for the championship last year, and Joe Nemechek just barely got into the consolation round, way on the back of the field. Row 20, you see Ernie Irvan. These are consolation runners on the screen now. Ernie Irvan and Mark Martin through first and second. Hut Strickland was third in the consi race. Joe Nemechek was the 4th and final qualifier. So there's your field. The provisional starters came through from a consolation race this morning with a lot of Winston Cup stars out there, Neil.
I'm telling you, that gives you the idea of the quality of this field. When those guys that didn't make the race had to run a qualifying race, so it's going to be the guys up front are flying. It's going to be quite a show.
It'll be fun to keep an eye on Harry Gant starting dead last. We can watch him a little bit later, see what he has.
And now they put him out behind those consolation starters. We understood he was going to be just in front of those 4. That is not the case as the field comes down to the line. Gant hung out behind Irvin, Martin, Strickland, and Nemechek as they take the green, go away for 102 laps of high-speed racing here on the mile-and-a-half Charlotte Motor Speedway. Into turn number 1 and lock him up in first place. Dick Trickle, who has never won in Grand National Racing, leads him out of turn 2 and down the back straightaway. And still even going up into turn number 3. That's Sterling Marlin up on the outside, and here comes Dale Jarrett. The 32 car, Dale Jarrett. On the inside, that red machine is woof. Dick Trickle just squirrely for a moment, gets it back as they come by the grandstand, a complete 1. Trickle trying to stay in front. He's got his hands full.
And what's great about Sterling, he won't cut any slack. He races every lap like it was the last, so he's really trying to go up there. Now Jarrett's jumping right up underneath him.
Dale Jarrett did just a tremendous job here in '88. He used that intermission well to get his motor percolating and came back to win it. Here he is into second. He drops Sterling Marlin back as they come around. This time they're 3 wide for second place, and they almost touched and maybe did. Down to the inside, Sterling Marlin going for second. Davey Allison just behind them. Blue car on the outside, number 32 is Jarrett. They're fighting for second place. In the white car on the bottom, Davey Allison in there, and a real war going on to the lead. Here's Mark Martin apparently jumping the start.
Yes, we got a stop and go penalty on Mark Martin. He jumped the start from the rear back there. He's a little bit antsy being on the rear. Made a jump and it made him come in the pits.
So he goes half a lap down, almost 3/4 of a lap now. As he gets down into turn 1, the field is out of turn 4. The leader drawing a big lead now is Trickle. Trickle drove this car at Daytona. Did fair with it. Set it on the pole. Set a new record for Grand National in this Champion Park 300. Now he draws away by 4 or 5 car lengths. That begins to dissipate. It's down the back straightaway. Sterling Marlin pulls up a little. Gets 1, gets 2 car lengths back. Dale Jarrett in 3rd. Davey Allison now 4th. Jeff Burton 5th in the back straightaway. And he's taking a look back at car number 17. That is Walter's machine.
It's quite a shot coming up through there.
Woo! Down the main straightaway they come. To turn 1. Car number 31 on the pit road pulls the Alabama driver, Steve Grissom, out of Gadsden, Alabama. And they're looking at the right rear on his car.
It looks like somebody rearranged that thing for him. Evidently, they got together up in the middle of this corner. They've been running 2 and 3 abreast. That's going to happen.
Remember, these are 105-inch wheelbase cars weighing 3,200 pounds, and they're a skitterish kind of car to handle on the banks of Charlotte.
I think what happened on that thing, they forced a black flag on him with that thing, the metal hanging off. At this speed, there's a chance of it flying off, so they made him come down pit road.
He goes a lap down. Number 31. Here are the leaders. Trickle is out in front, but here comes Sterling Marlin to the inside. And Marlin's Oldsmobile goes to first place, takes it away from Dick Trickle's Pontiac. Tremendous infield here today. I've never seen it more crowded at Charlotte. Running in that 3rd spot is Jarrett. 4th is Burton. 5th, Allison. 6th, Ronald Cooper. Ken Trader is up to 7th. Dana Patton holds on to 8th. Darrell Waltrip is to 9th. And Jimmy Hensley is in 10th. Jack Sprague 11th. An idea of the banking here in Charlotte. Backstretch. New leader in the event, Sterling Marlin. Here's Trickle. 2 car lengths back. And holding on to that 3rd spot, Dale Jarrett. Remember, they're going to run half the distance, stop the cars approximately 12 minutes, and put them back to work. You like that?
I tell you what, it's a good deal. I like to see them be able to stop midway, do some chassis adjustments, do some things that'll tighten the race up, but make it a lot closer. Got a caution out now.
Yellow is out. Smoker down into turn number 1 may be the problem. Maybe we have some oil down into turns 1 and 2. Tricky with these cars, and trickier if you get some oil on this racetrack.
I tell you, these cars are running so fast through the corner. The corner speed is tremendous, and just any problem at all in the things you can get away from you.
Car 88 off its speed. Randy Baker in trouble as the field comes by with 9 complete this time through. Sterling Marlin in front, Trickle in 2nd, Jarrett in 3rd.
Ken, one of the big moves has been made by Greg Sachs. He's moved from 20th to 11th. That's in the Robert G car, so he's really coming through there.
Under caution for the first time today. Back with you at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And as the field is brought down on turn number 4, the safety crew has pulled in. We may be getting a green next time by. Indeed, that's what they're indicating. One more lap and they'll turn them loose
For the first time, Jack Ingram has failed to qualify since 1973, and there you see green and white car back there is number 7. In fact, there's a couple. The first one is Kenny Wallace. The second car, number 7, is Harry Gant, who qualified outside of the front row. Then they had to change the whole clip. The whole nose had to be taken off the car. They worked all night. Neil, you know a little bit more about that story.
I talked with Harry just before the race, and when you say you take the nose off, they took the frame completely loose from the car and put an entire frame section out of there. The engine was out of the car, all the oil lines. That was Harry's option to go to the rear. He could have been 4th up in the line, but he took an option to go to the rear to make sure that thing felt good. Evidently, it feels good. He's making a strong move right now.
Indeed, he has. He has moved from the 42nd position to 28th in these early laps in car number 7. Harry Gant is going to have to do some kind of charging before this one's over. The 1982 and 87 winner of this event. As you see, the furthest anyone has ever come from was 16th, and the guy that did it is in that rocking chair, car number 7.
Seems like he knows how to do it the end of it.
Well, Ed Whitaker builds an outstanding race car, and Harry Gant's always gotten around this racetrack real well.
And he's waving at us. He must feel good.
That's Bobby Labonte in car number 44 with our race time in-car cameras. We get set to go here.
Terry's baby brother.
Yep. Having a good run, and we're back under green, and on the brakes, Sterling Marlin makes a quick jump, and on the outside, the white number 28, Davey Allison, gets around the blue car of Dale Jarrett. He'll take over in 3rd spot. Quick move on the outside.
No, that was a good move, but I know that before introduction, they had to introduce what kind of car. Davey drives a Ford, and he said he's driving a Brand X today. So Chevrolet made a pretty good move with the start.
Here's that number 32 on the bottom, and right up on the outside, the white car is Davey Allison in that Chevrolet, not a Ford today, as they come down out of turn number 4, completing 12 laps as they come to the line. Here's number 32, Dale Jarrett, back to 3rd spot again. Good scramble to 3rd. Back straightaway. Battle to 3rd position. 32, Dale Jarrett. The 28 is Davey Allison. And the 12 in that mix would be Jeff Burton in his Buick. Out of 4.
I think these guys are mixing it up early in the race.
I love it. Sax and Earnhardt banging on each other like this is the last lap.
I think that carries over from
delivering a message.
Field going down to, here's Matt Waltrip down to the inside, and car number 17 working on Ronald Cooper. Waltrip picks up another spot. That'll make him 7th in the field as we watch Waltrip begin to bust up through. And here comes Earnhardt, Mr. Dominator, and Greg Sachs down to the inside in the 46 car.
You see green paint on the black car and black paint on the green car. He finally got by.
The last 2 laps, they were trying to shove each other around.
They're running for the 9th position, Sachs and Earnhardt.
I don't guess they know we're going to have a halfway mark and argue this out.
Chuck Bound is on pit road in car number 63, current point leader in Grand National competition. On pit road for right side rubber as we watch the 3 and the 46 continue to fly around the speedway. Dale Earnhardt is now 9th. Greg Sachs is in 10th. Jack Sprague is 11th. Here is Chuck Bound coming back on the track as Michael Waltrip lies in 12th. Jimmy Hensley has moved to 13th.
I think Chuck probably cut a tire down or had a tire going down.
And Wallace going by him. Kenny Wallace in the back of the field. Crossley for Chuck Bound as he really wanted to have a good day. He's won 3 out of the last 4 Grand National races. Field coming by, and there will be 16 in the book as Sterling Marlin draws a pretty good beat in the lead. He has about a 20-car length advantage, as you see here, going into turn 1. Right behind him is that number 92 of Dick Trickle, and with him comes Dale Jarrett to the inside. Jarrett down on the bottom in that Pontiac, running with Trickle wheel to wheel for 2nd place.
I tell you, that 32 car Jarrett looks good on the bottom of the racetrack. He's made a lot of moves there. That's a good place to work.
A little tricky down there, too, in these lighter cars. You can really get in trouble going into 3 if you tweak them on the bottom of the racetrack and it doesn't hold.
I think the general consensus in the garage yesterday that the race was going to be run on the very top of the racetrack. The guy that can work in the bottom is going to be good today. I would say that's the bottom. When your wheels will blow that white line, I'd say that's about as low as you get.
gets a little risky down that far. Here is the 1988 champion of the event, Jarrett at 32. There's the 28 of Davey Allison. It's going 5th out into turn 3. Pretty easy to say he's driving Ford. You're so used to it.
Oh, yeah, man.
Saying the Brand X out there. That was a great announcement to the crowd. I am Brand X today. Right behind him comes Jeff Burton, and closing up on those two white cars, here comes Waltrip. Darrell Waltrip is definitely on a roll right now. The 79 winner of the event, the black number 17, running in 7th spot. See him fading high, trying to move around those cars.
Ken, that's been one of Darrell's strong suits. Even in the 600 and different races we run here, he gets the car to work high around the racetrack, and it's easy on the tires. He's got a good shot at him when he runs high like that.
Sterling Marlin staying first. Dale Jarrett in second. Here's Davey Allison in the 28 car, now in 5th, in 6th, right behind him, Jeff Burton. The Burton brothers out of Virginia. They're racing. And here's Walter closing in on that pair, Allison and Burton. He's been mowing them down since he started back in 16th position. Walter now 7th.
I'm not going to tell him how good he's doing on the top, because he's going to pass him on the bottom now.
Here he comes down to the bottom of the racetrack, working Jeff Burton. Number 12 on the outside is Burton. Here is Waltrip in the 17. And he's not lingering today. He knows that he's got to get at it and scramble.
And Darrell's usually the type guy that sets his pace, but it looks like his pace today is going to be pretty rapid.
20 laps are now complete. We've had one caution thus far in the going. 200 laps the distance. There is an intermission in the center of this race. Look at Waltrip having trouble down to the bottom of Burton staying right. And here comes Earnhardt. Earnhardt into the picture, bottom of the racetrack. Car number 3, working on Waltrip, working on Burton.
And Darrell said, where did he come from? And here's Sachs on the other side. How did I get in the middle of this junk? I think I'll back on out of here.
He hasn't backed out yet. He's still holding on for the moment, but looks like Earnhardt is on the warpath in car number 3. Around turn 1 and 2. Here is Jeff Burton, still looking very stout and very strong in that car number 12.
And it's got to make him feel good. He looks in the mirror, and here's Waltrip, here's Earnhardt and Sachs back there. He's got some pretty heavy guys behind him right now.
Gets back to what John was saying. You know, look at these Grand National guys. They used to be a lot more respectful of you people, and today, nothing doing. They're going to make you fight for every inch.
You used to could intimidate them. Now they kind of kick your rear end if you don't pay attention.
I think they see that you guys are getting a little older and they want to get your ride.
Well, that's a good possibility.
Here's Waltrip getting fired up, and again, charging, attacking Jeff Burton. Waltrip to the inside. Earnhardt just watching. Earnhardt said in the introduction today, he said, I'm just out to have a good time today. Here's the number 3, Earnhardt to the bottom, as he continues to move up through. It's interesting that Earnhardt in the number 3, last time he lost this year, he lost at the Talladega short track on dirt to guess who?
Red Farmer.
Dr. Farmer knocked him down.
The only time he's been beat in the month of May, I guess.
One of Neil Bonnet's proteges, Red Farmer.
Red Farmer, who is ageless, just keeps on winning, keeps on right, working on Davey Allison's car. We have one car slowing down dramatically in the back straightaway, and that may be Burton's car. We'll just see in a moment.
Ronald Cooper's car.
Ronald Cooper is coming off the pace.
And Ronald had qualified so well. That's a tough break for him. He qualified like 7th, and I hate to see him have that kind of trouble early.
17 has moved up. Wheeling around cars goes the number 17 of Darrell Waltrip, and with him comes Earnhardt, with him comes Sachs. And now the front of the field looks like this. Sterling Marlin up on top. Dale Jarrett is in second. Dick Trickle is in third. Ken Schrader is currently the 4th position runner on the field, followed by Davey Allison and then Waltrip. Field coming back to the line to complete 25 laps. And Waltrip, Earnhardt, and Sachs are trying to overwhelm Davey Allison for 5th position.
Looks like Ronald Cooper had a flat tire. He's been in and back out of the pits.
Got one car having a little trouble down at turn number 1 in the bottom of the racetrack. I think it's Ernie Irvin's car. That's the car that won the consolation round this morning, number 75. Under the Ruggles engine, of which there are 11. A lot of fire out of the back of that car as he goes down the back straightaway. Ernie Irvin and the car 75 are in car camera, and you can see the fire coming off that left rear wheel.
Looks like a brake rotor. In a case like that, it could blow one of the cylinders on the brakes and the thing never went off. some brake fluid.
The You Can Rent in-car camera of Ernie Irvan getting a warm ride around turns 3 and 4 on the 26th lap. Brings it in rather slowly now.
This is when it's fun not to be a rear tire changer.
And it's going to be hard to get that guy to go over and jump on that tire, I promise you.
He has his asbestos mittens on.
I'm not sure I'd plug that gas can in there right now either.
No, I don't think so either. I think I'll back off.
28 laps complete this time by as the You Can Rent in-car camera. Their car in trouble down here on pit road. Work continuing on it, and they've gone a lap down.
See, it's on fire. The rear tire changer jumps right in, pulls the tire off while they can put the rest of the fire off.
Oh, yeah, you know, he says, good way to do this thing. Just get in there and cook your fingers a little bit. Nothing new for these guys. They're tough.
Sterling Marlin stays up in front, and look at this fight for second place. Dale Jarrett in the 32 being challenged by Dick Trickle, the pole sitter. There you see the top 3 and the interval among them. Morgan Shepherd is also pitting. Lineup right now has Marlin in front. Dale Jarrett in second. Dick Trickle is in third. With the Charlotte Motor Speedway under caution for the second time today. It came out in lap number 30. The incident happening in turn number 4. The pace car is bringing the field around, and there's the gentleman that brought out the flag, number 17, Darrell Waltrip. Look at what happened here.
We're catching the end of the caution here. As they went in 3, Darrell was down low. The car back end broke loose. Darrell's still driving this race car. This is good indication right here. Indication, keep steering that car. He got it turned back, stayed out of the inside wall. He's got to get him 4 new tires, and he's ready to go again.
Anybody touch him, John?
No, Darrell jumped under Earnhardt and appeared to jump up too quick, but Earnhardt never touched him. The car just slid around on him. I think he just, the intimidator made him try to make a move real quick to block him, and it went around.
Let's go down to Ralph Shaheen.
Well, Darrell Waltrip has arrived to his pit stop, and you can see he's way kind of off line from where the pit is really. They're taking on right side tires, and they're putting a little bit into the suspension, a little bit more wedge in the suspension. And we'll take a gas, and he's on his way back in car 17.
And Tommy Ellis looped his car as he came down pit road. 1989 Grand National Champion back underway. The Virginia driver, Ellis, back on the track. Saw Tommy Ellis win out here years ago on the Charlotte Motor Speedway. He knows how to get around here. Car number 99 coming back to speed. Waltrip did not lose a lap in that incident.
No, when he spun the car, he kept driving the thing. He got it straightened up. Paul came on around, got him some tires. He's ready to go again.
Maybe we can find out from the pits if there was contact or if it just went around on him.
So if Ralph Shaheen down there in the 17 pits didn't appear that he was touched, I'd like to know a little bit more about it. Here's 33 laps complete as they come to the line, and Billy Stanbridge will be shown as the leader. Let's go to Charlie Harville.
I'm here with Ernie Irvan, whose car is being, her work going right now. You're getting back in the race, Ernie. What happened?
No, we had a wheel bearing go bad on the left burst, so no chance of getting that fixed. And we're not running for points anyway, but the You Can Rent Oldsmobile's running awful good. And I'm happy they chose me to drive this car, and hopefully we were going to give them a win today, but now we can't.
Tough luck for Ernie Irvan out of the race.
Here's Waltrip back on pit road again as Ernie Irvan's You Can Rent car has gone down early after it won the consolation round to make the race.
I tell you, when you start talking about these guys having to run races to get in a race, the guys that made it are flying. Looks like Darrell got the right sides on his first stop, came back in this time, got him a set of lefts, and I don't think he did any damage. He could be in just as good a shape as he was before.
Field organizing for a restart. We should get it very quickly here. There's a spin in turn number 3 that brought it out. It doesn't look like there's many parts and pieces left out there to be concerned about. The leaders, as they begin to line them up now, you can take that number that we told you about, car, the, what did we say a moment ago, Stanbridge? 47 will be up in front. There's the race time camera, and that's Bobby Labonte. He's back in the field trying to get himself sorted out, running behind the 15th position. Billy Stanbridge will be first on the restart. And as they come to the line, 32, a big green next time by, that would be Dale Jarrett for the second position. And in between them, I think we have a lap car. Kyle Petty's on a lap down.
Looking at Bobby Labonte's windshield there, somebody just kind of gave him a shot right on that brace on the windshield. The windshield's cracked, but that bracing right under will hold it the rest of the day.
There you see the car that's dominated in the first part of the race. That's Sterling Marlin back in 16th position. he gets ready to fly here. From Jimmy Hensley's onboard camera, the Crown Igloo car. Harry Gant has come all the way from dead last up into 7th position.
That's one of his specialties, Ken. It seems like when you get Harry down, he just starts digging away, and that car was totally disassembled. It's hard to believe it's running that good this early.
Well, they cut the whole front off last night about 6:30. And today they bring out a brand new, literally a brand new race car, which he's never driven a lick in. With the front snout gone, a new clip. That's not the same race car.
When I walked in the garage just before I came to the booth, it was setting up on 4 scales, electronic scales. That's the first time it hit the ground. They rolled it the last car on the line, but it looks like they did it right.
Ed Whitaker's car, number 7, Harry Gant, running in the 7th position. And he's made a few moves thus far in this race with 34 laps complete. Pace car is dipping down onto pit road, and we're ready to go. Stanbridge in the 47 will be shown in front. Dale Jarrett in second. And right up there with him is Kyle Petty. Ted Condor car. Stanbridge has done some running out here today too, Neil.
Sure has. I tell you, these guys, I had to look at their names the second time because I hadn't known them that well, but I'm telling you, these guys are impressive.
Well, here he is. He started 33rd, and he's out in front in this shuffle down the backstretch.
Well, they're 3 wide, 2 wide, 3 wide again. That is a wad of cars. Look at Earnhardt go below the white line to jump in there.
Here comes Earnhardt, bottom of the racetrack out of turn number 4. He is in a run down to the line, and as they come across the stripe, Earnhardt picks up all the way to 3rd spot, and we have one car slowing down dramatically at the start-finish line. That's Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton looks like he's blown it, or is that tire smoke off the left rear?
It looks like the motor went out on the thing, and I'm telling you, Bobby Labonte just about drop-kicked him right at the start-finish line. He's lucky he got around it.
Where you see the number 8 car we saw win at Richmond, Virginia in Grand National Competition, coming off the pace. Coming back by. Green is still out as they come to the line. As they come attacking, looking for Stanbridge in front. Dale Jarrett in that 2nd spot, followed by Dale Earnhardt in 3rd, Dick Trickle in 4th, and Ken Schrader in 5th. And the sweep down into turn number 1. Ralph Shaheen, can you tell us anything more about car number 17, Waltrip?
Well, Ken, we had an opportunity to talk to Eddie Jones, the crew chief for Darrell Waltrip. Now, he did say that Dale Earnhardt hit him. That is the report that came from Darrell Waltrip. Darrell did not say, though, however, whether or not it was intentional. But they did get 4 new tires on the car and a full tank of gas. And as far as they can tell, things are back to normal with car 17.
Passing Resendez, you saw that Waltrip car, and we've had a lead change up in front. It's Earnhardt going through.
Looks like if he hits anybody else, it has to be the pace car. There's nobody left out in front.
Whoa.
Look at this stack out here as they go 3 wide down out of turn number 2. Everybody clear. Earnhardt in front, and what a rush he put on. Dick Trickle comes into 2nd spot. Here comes Greg Sachs down to the inside. He's up to 5th. Dale Jarrett's back in 3rd. Battle for the lead. Look at Trickle. Trucks on down to the inside of the racetrack. Coming by, and caution is out. Caution is on the track as they come back to the line for the 3rd time today.
They got oil over the 2nd turn. Evidently, that blown motor a while ago, as he was slowing down, he dumped some oil on too. They're going to have to stop and clean it up.
Sometimes if you keep your foot in it, you can keep that oil up in the motor, and if you let off, it's a wash of oil out there in the racetrack.
Well, when they come by here running about 140 and blow a motor, they swing it a long way. The slower you get, the more concentrated the oil is, and you really messed it up off 2 over there.
We could see Kyle Petty jump totally sideways, and that was the blocker, and all the cars slowed right there, and that's when he hit the oil.
They use spotters, and it has dramatic impact. We used to have those big multi-car wrecks here, and with these spotters up on the roof for each car, radio controlled, they're able to avert some potential disasters. Earnhardt stays up in front. Dick Trickle is riding 2nd.
Back at Charlotte Motor Speedway in our Igloo Pit Communications Center and the running of the Champion 300. We are under caution right now. Dale Earnhardt is your leader with pole sitter Dick Trickle just behind him. Here in our PCC, we're going to be covering the points among the Busch Grand National records. Now remember, these are the Winston Cup drivers against the guys who run this series all year long. And for those regulars, they're not only looking for their chance to show that they can beat the Winston Cup guys, but they are also running a series among themselves. Right now, Chuck Bound is our points leader. He had trouble qualifying, stopped for tires early. He's well back in the field. In fact, the leader right now among the regulars is rookie Jack Sprague. He is 9th in rookie points, way off the chart. In fact, he's 45th in season points. So right now, Jack Sprague out of Kannapolis, North Carolina, Dale Earnhardt's hometown, has the opportunity to make up a lot of ground in Busch Grand National points. Let's go back topside now once again to our executive producer, Ken Squire.
So Chuck Bound in front of the points for the lap down right now as we watch Patty Moise go back onto the track. Let's get this report from Ralph Shaheen.
Ken, we're standing by with Chris Carrier, the crew chief for Harry Gant. Now, Chris, Harry's really moving up through the field. Is this car back the way you'd hoped, or is he just driving the wheels off of it?
Well, I think we got it back pretty close. The car was really good over here this week. We never changed any on the chassis, and that's the reason we went ahead and fixed it yesterday, because we knew the car, and he was really pleased with it. Seems to be real good so far. He's trying to take it easy, and our pit crew here got a real good stop at last time, got us about 6-7 positions. That makes a lot of difference when you've got to come back up through the pack. But we kind of planned on that. They do that about every time. They're a good bunch.
So that's the story on car number 7 and this amazing run that Gant's been putting together here as we get set to roll once again with 42 laps complete, 200 the distance. There is a break in the midst of the action after 102 laps and then down to the last 98. Very controversial that with the drivers because they're not allowed to do much work on the cars. Most of them think it's worthless.
Yeah, most guys, once they get that thing rolling, they want to keep going. You feel like if you got an edge, you want to keep it. But it evens the field up. It's a better show for the fans. The drivers don't like it at times.
And it was a better show 2 years ago because they could work on the cars. They could make adjustments and get back into this race.
Dale Jarrett had a rock arm broken on the car, struggled halfway, changed the rock arm, come back and won the race. That's a good indication of what it'll do.
All right, here we go with 43 complete. We're back under green as they come to the stripe, and it will be Earnhardt in front. The lap car on the outside is Grissom, who did such an outstanding job up in Nazareth, Pennsylvania a couple of weeks back. And Jimmy Hensley came to first place. Away and running up on that bank. Trying to tighten your stomach muscles and get that green again out there in the end?
I don't know. It kind of turns you loose. It's tight sitting there waiting to go. When it turns you loose, you have a lot of fun.
Here's Jarrett having fun as he scoots down to the inside and goes under Grissom, puts in a lap down. There's your leader, Earnhardt, number 3. The number 32, Jarrett in second. Trickle running third. You can see him right behind him now. Next car back should be Michael Waltrip. Red and yellow car, number 30. But Earnhardt just continues to be incredible. Won the Winston here a week ago at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. He hasn't missed a beat all week.
It seems like if you ever get the handle on a particular racetrack, you can repeat it time and time again. And he's certainly been on top of it here for the last few weeks.
Hold on. Here comes Dale Jarrett at number 32, rocketing back up onto the back of Earnhardt's car. Dick Trickle stays right there in third. Ken Schrader trying to hold on to fourth now. Correction, now that would be Waltrip in fourth, and fighting for fifth is Schrader and Sachs, and they've been together since the outset. 4 cars in a bundle for the lead down in turn 1, and there you see them. Michael Waltrip's number 30 on the tail end of that group. Saw him take a win earlier this year, Richmond, Virginia, after he set on the pole, and down to the inside goes Trickle in number 93. One for the old folks out here, John.
Well, Dick Trickle, he may be old in age, but he's young at heart. He's as much a racer as I've ever seen in my life. He loves it.
I'll tell you another thing. His old motor seems to love to run around this racetrack. It makes a strong move at the end of that straightaway.
You know, he's a great smoker, and he has a lighter right in his race car. And Earnhardt was kidding him yesterday and said to Trickle, he said, "Dick, you're going to need at least 2 packs before I get done with you tomorrow."
If he has time to light one of those things.
Earnhardt stays up in front. Here's Trickle in that second spot, number 93.
Trickle's not scared of Earnhardt a bit. See, he's older. He's just as mean. He's fought as many fights on short track. See him touch. Get him, Trickle. Show the man that you ain't afraid of him, see? And watch Earnhardt come back and give him a shot. Watch this again.
That third spot is now Michael Waltrip as they continue to mix it up out here in the early going.
Maybe Trickle will flip one of them cigarettes out the window at him right now.
Is this Champion 300 going to be a physical race, Dick Trickle?
You know, I don't see any paint swapping other than normal. I mean, you're gonna get underneath something, get just a little bit loose, and maybe get leaning on him sometimes. But you know, if there's 5 in a huddle going for the finish line, you're gonna see a little bit of paint swapping at that time. But you know, you got to make it to that point. So you know, if you hammer the car up and get tires against the sheet metal, whatever, well, then pretty soon you ain't in the hunt. So best thing, you got to protect the car all day long so you can make that run at the end, ring the bell.
Car number 92 out in front for the moment.
Trust me, Dick, we're not going to hit any cars. We're at lap 48 and already bouncing off each other.
Look at this field coming by. Led by Trickle, Earnhardt second, Michael Waltrip into the picture from car number 7. Gant having this tremendous run in the car 7. Right there, the green and white machine down at turn number 1. He has come all the way to the rear. He's the man that's come the furthest to win this race. 16th one time. How about from dead last? Wouldn't that be remarkable? Car number 7, Greg Sachs, shadowing him. Roosting right on the rear bumper of car number 7 as they come live. And there's Schrader down to the inside in that white and green car. Almost touches Sachs. They've had a great scrap going. 50 laps are down. 52 laps remaining in the first segment. 3 cautions thus far. Record for cautions, 8 in this race. To the outside, Greg Sachs having a tremendous run. Goes up there again.
Don't you know Rick Hendrick sitting there watching and saying, I own these cars. Why are these guys racing side by side like this and doing this to me, you know?
Here they are coming through 3 and 4. The leader as they come down this time for 51 laps will be Trickle. Earnhardt will be in second. And look at that battle side by side. White car on the inside. That on the bottom of the racetrack. Schrader on the outside is Greg Sachs. They seem to be married in that position around here now.
I tell you, these guys are locked in. You know, it seems like each one of them can get to the front, and it's hard to stay there. As soon as the guy leads a little bit, the next guy takes over. They're passing it back and forth. I don't think anybody can just take total control right now.
Dick Trickle has been coming to Charlotte since 1973. Making an occasional run here right now is making a run up in front and leading by 3 car lengths over Earnhardt in second and Michael Waltrip. To the outside goes number 7. The 7 car going high into turn number 1. Harry Gant moving.
Guys, Dick Trickle told a great story after practice one day. He said Kenny Schrader came up to me and said, who's the guy in that 92 car? I've never seen it before. He was right on me, running me hard in practice. I said, I'll show this kid. I'll take him down to turn 1 faster than he's ever gone before. And the guy never budged. Trickle just laughed about it. Of course, he was the guy in the 92 car wearing brand new sponsor colors here at Charlotte. He said, I went out to take the pole because I knew if you got the pole, you get respect, and maybe the other competitors will remember who was in that car and watch out for you a little bit on the racetrack.
Dick Trickle stays out in front now by 8 car lengths. Here is Harry Gant getting around and clearing. He blows on by the Dale Jarrett car, and along with him comes Schrader. Ken Schrader on the move. This will put Schrader into 5th position. Gant is now 4th. Number 7 is your 4th place car. Number 52 is in 5th.
It seems like the strong part of Harry is most guys can either pass low or high. Harry's been coming through their top and bottom.
National race where once again we are under caution, and we'll give you a look at what happened. Jeff Purvis, one of the Busch Grand National record regulars, just suffered a blown engine a few minutes ago, adding to the number of caution flags we've already seen today. Our leader on the racetrack is Dick Trickle, who held the pole for today's event. It is a warm day here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but here in the Igloo Pit Communication Center, we've got an answer for that with the Igloo Products Winners Award. At the end of the day, the winning team is going to pick up a selection of products from Igloo, and we've got everything you need in the modern pit. The Squiggly, 32-ounce, insulated, will carry a lot of liquid. The Playmate, 1-gallon container. 300 miles is a long way to go. You need one of these. Or perhaps one of the Igloo picnic baskets with plenty of room for everything. Nice hip today colors. And the nice thing about this, though, this roof, the cover, will support 300 pounds. Even the heaviest crew chief can use this to get a good look at his man on the racetrack. A whole set of Igloo products going out to our winners team today. Now let's get back to the racetrack with Ken Squire.
Caution is on the track. Jeff Purvis, who is running a lap down, has brought out this latest period of yellow flags, which would be the 4th of the day. Again, the record is 8, and his car is going right back to the garage area, being pushed back now, number 15, after it had trouble. Here you see the Tommy Houston car, number 6, a guy that put up such a tremendous scrap a year ago. He's running back in 18th position. Wants to get up in here, and he's running in the lead lap.
Do you mean that Igloo cooler would support Junior Johnson?
How about it, Neil?
I used to drive for Junior, and I think Junior could sit on anything he wants to, anytime he wants to.
Remember when he brought a cake of ice to Talladega to sit on because he knew it was going to be a little warm?
Junior always takes care of Junior when it comes race time, and when it gets time to take that car, he'll take care of it.
Darrell Waltrip has just pitted. Tommy Houston and Chuck Bound also have come in. Elton Sawyer has brought in the 27. Bobby Labonte comes on to pit road, and Tom Peck and Rick Cagles, 96, has also joined that group down in the pit. So the activity's there. Here's Mark Martin's number 1, which has made up some very good time. It came all the way from the rear, pulled up to the field. Now is being shown outside the top 15. Let me review for you as we come to 60 laps, this time by Trickle first, winner of the Winston Open just last weekend. That race that put him into the Winston. Dale Earnhardt second. Michael Waltrip is now third. Harry Gant is fourth. Schrader is fifth. Dale Jarrett is sixth. Sterling Marlin seventh. Greg Sachs is eighth. Jack Sprague ninth. Kyle Petty 10th. With Davey Allison 11th and Dana Patton 12th, all in the lead lap. In fact, present time we're showing 18 cars in the lead lap.
Dale Earnhardt just radioed into his crew and said, things are so good, I'm not bothering to come in. So they're electing to stay out. Everything's fine in car number 3.
That car is like Earnhardt, just having a marvelous week.
You know, we was talking earlier, it seems like if you get the hammer on a particular track, we just saw when Darrell pitted in, there's a crew member on each side of the car putting wedge in and out of each side. So some of these guys are making, we saw Bobby Labonte making a major change a while ago. Some of the guys hit it, some miss. When you're off, you really got to struggle.
Is it the car or is it Earnhardt? Can he just drive that thing that well here?
Sometimes I don't know if he knows it's going sideways or not. If it's sideways or straight, he's got the throttle down usually.
With Johnny Hayes, Neil Bonnet, I'm Ken Squire, Bob Barsha, Igloo Pit Center today, Charlie Harville, Ralph Shaheen down in the pits, bringing you the action. Dick Trickle, who won last week's Winston Open, has a little added incentive. Wedding anniversary is tomorrow. He'd like to give his wife a present. Let's see if he can pull it off. He'll be up on the point when we get ready to go. He said, I'm going to try and win her an anniversary present here.
Probably a new carburetor.
No, he says he loves it here in North Carolina. He says he likes the people, the climate, everything. His wife, Darlene, says never going to move back north. Trickle says, I don't know whether that means he likes it here or doesn't like moving.
We lives up in Lincoln County now in Iron Station. He moved out in the country, bought him a farm-like situation, so he's a good old boy.
It's going to take a look. We're going to have to train him a little bit first.
Yeah.
He's still got some few words I need to translate.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have to work with his language a whole lot.
Here he comes, for Dick Trickle.
Sounds like Kim Squire.
Midwest champion, coming down, leading the pack with 60 laps complete. Pace car coming in. There's Darlene, working as usual. Dick Trickle's pit. Field coming up. She's a racer. Green is out, and we're rolling once again. And down to the inside, car number 7's a quick move. As you saw, he went around Michael Waltrip. Now, is he going to get penalized for that one, Neil? That was right at the line.
Well, I think he cleared him just past the line. As long as you don't pass before you get to the start-finish line, it's kind of a judgment call.
It's like one of those sailboat races. You got to come right to the line, you know, when they drop the flag, fire off the cannon, and he hit it right on the middle. So Gant has come all the way to third from dead last, and he continues to rocket around this racetrack, and Michael Waltrip seems to be a little incensed. He's moving to the inside, can't get around car number 7. Gant, what a show he has put on for this crowd.
I tell you, Ken, it kind of blows holes in the theory. This track's been open for 2 weeks for practice. We come up here and you practice. You wreck the car Saturday, you go and cut the nose off of it and it runs faster than ever.
No penalty on car 7. He did that start perfectly. Harry Gant zeroing in on one of his neighbors.
I tell you, Michael Waltrip is flying also. Michael, he got shook out there a little bit, but watch him drive up under Harry. And Harry's Michael's hero, and he's putting pressure on the grand old man. So they did offend Michael a little bit there.
Here they are, back to the strike for 63 complete. And to the outside goes Gant. Number 7 rides it high. Harry Gant and that Buick going up on the top side of Dale Earnhardt and his Chevrolet.
Now, they crashed doing this yesterday in the last practice. Harry made it through that time.
Right there. Right in turn 2, and it took the nose off car number 7. It's a total rebuild on that machine. Up all night, the Whitaker crew back together, and look at him fight for first, coming from last. He's up here going after Earnhardt for that second spot. Now putting some heat on Dick Trickle for the lead. This is the comeback story of this track in the 10 days of May 1990. Harry Gant right out of the rear, right up to the front. Look at 52. There's Schrader running 5th. He's in that flock. And then in 6th position, it's Greg Sachs, followed by Sterling Marlin, the early leader of the event.
Does it go through your mind if you crash in a spot like that with the same guy and you go flying in there, Neil? Does that go through your mind?
Usually you go in just a little bit lower and hold a guy down a little bit lower on the racetrack. But yesterday they didn't make
before, and dropping to the inside and losing a little ground. Usually 2 cars side by side, that's poison. But they seem to be still working well and staying right there with car number 92 Trickle.
What happens on a case like that is Earnhardt doesn't want Harry by. He's going down in that corner harder than he was really when he was just following Dick. He's having to close the gap up more to keep Harry out there. This pace might get both of them all over Trickle before it's over.
What is it going to do to their tires?
They're smoking just a little bit right now, but when this thing's over, they're going to throw them in that junk pile behind the track here. They're going to use them up right now.
And they're using them up as they come around for 66 laps complete. And look at this scramble. Down to the inside, Sterling Marlin, the white car. In the middle, Schrader. And Schrader's old pal Sachs on the outside as they shuffle further back in the field. That particular shuffle going on is the 5th, 6th, and 7th spot.
I'll tell you what's fixing to happen right now. Gant's put enough heat on Earnhardt that he's running out of the place to go there. And that little red thing in front of him is going to be the stopper. Something's fixing to happen.
Now, you have to drive so much harder in the corner with these short wheelbase cars, Neil.
Yeah, you can do it, but there's a little bit different sense of feel there. The big Winston Cup cars have more power. These things are a little less power, and you can handle them a little bit more there.
You couldn't see it real good, but Michael is pushing Harry through there, so Michael is strong. I tell you, it just doesn't get any better than this.
Fellas, I think the viewer at home might be wondering, hey, this race is going to stop in just a few laps, just past halfway. They're going to get a chance to take a look at their cars. Why race so hard in the early going? Neil Bonnet, it's a good question for you. I got a feeling it has something to do with what Dick Trickle said at the top of our show about ringing that bell at halfway. Is there something in it for him?
Bob, I'm telling you what, these guys right now, they're racing. They don't matter if this thing's 10 laps or 1,000 miles. These guys want to get around each other and playing right now. This is the fun part of racing when you're close and mixing it up. They don't care if they run for $2 or 10,000.
Nor is Sterling Marlin on the inside. Look at this fight for 5th. 48 Marlin, bottom of the track. Schrader on the outside. Back with the leaders again. Here comes the war for first place. Trickle's there. Earnhardt's coming after him. Just behind them comes Harry Gant and Michael Walter. Further back in the field. Look at this fight. That is Sterling Marlin, bottom of the racetrack, fighting for 5th. On the outside is Ken Schrader in the 52. Directly behind them, the blue car on the inside is Jarrett. And on the outside is Sachs. Just great racing. These guys love to drive these cars, John.
There's races everywhere. I don't care where you're looking. They're racing just as hard for 20th place.
And when you get out of one of the other cars with a big power situation you have, you get back in these cars, they almost give you a false feeling of sensation that you can do anything you want to do, and it looks like they're doing it. They're throwing these cars all over the racetrack, a little bit more side by side than you normally see.
And what I love, a crew chiefs are saying, stay in line, take care of the car. We're going to get a break in a few laps, and the drivers are going 3 wide.
And you know what the driver's saying? Did you call me on the radio? I can't hear you. Something's wrong with the radio. You can always tell the radio's on the blink when you're having fun.
Dick Trickle stays out in front, and Harry Gant having fun. He must be smiling from ear to ear as he pulls around. Earnhardt runs him down the back straightaway, and this scrambles for second position. It's live. It's the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's coming to you from World Sports, and we're delighted to be with you on this Memorial Weekend with this tremendous race. Look at this battle for the lead. Just doesn't quit.
Maybe this is a caution when we got the camera running fast. I don't know. They're supposed to be strung out a little bit, but side by side all the way around.
Well, Grand National has found its own place. They still run the short track. They're still at Rougemont. They're still at Hickory. They still make those short appearances. They're going up to that new track in New Hampshire. But here on the Super Speedway, this is just grand. Here comes Gant to the inside.
And this is the first time Harry's had the inside of a racetrack to work with Earnhardt. Let's see. It doesn't take long to see if he can use it.
Goodbye. See ya. That's unbelievable. I think he was a little apprehensive about going low for a while just because the car was fresh and had never been tried before he brought it on the track.
Well, anytime you can run on the outside of Earnhardt that long, if you get inside one time, you better go on while you can. You're going to get a little bit of black on you. When he got there, he checked that. I believe he's strong enough now to jump on that 66.
73 laps complete. This time working the 77th lap. Dick Trickle staying out in front. Challengers now behind the 92. Harry Gant in car number 7. And look at this. Here's number 3, Earnhardt, back in 8th spot, fighting with Dale Jarrett. Those two cars who were up in front earlier have now dropped back into 8th and 9th spot and are fighting with Tommy Ellis in a 3-way battle there. Let's go to Ralph Shaheen on pit road for more on Earnhardt.
Well, Ken, we had an opportunity to talk to Tony Urey, the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt, and I asked him what was wrong, and he said he thinks Dale's just kicking back a little bit, letting the car cool down. The battle up front's been awfully hot, as you can see, so he's just letting the car relax a little bit, save the tires, and
exactly right there on the tires. I think it's the tires more than anything. What was happening was Dale was running the car 4 and 5 car lengths deeper into the corner, trying to hold Harry off. When you scrub that rubber off of that carcass, it's up there in the middle of that corner. It never goes back on there again, and he's a little bit out of tires more than he normally would be. He's going to have to cool that tire down. They run about 200 degrees. He's probably looking 240, 260. He'll cool them down. He might be able to come back if he can get them cooled back down.
And you know that battle we've been showing you up in front. Tommy Houston coming in very slowly. Houston comes in slow. The battle we've been showing you up in front has been remarkable. But then you go back and you find the 8th place battle. There you see the leader, car number 92, Trickle getting a little breathing room, as does Gant. Then you go back to that 8th position, and there's Dale Jarrett, there's Dale Earnhardt, there's Davey Allison, and there's Tommy Ellis in that cluster, still in a major war just outside the top 10.
Yeah, they're in a major war, and in just a little bit they're going to refuel these things and put some new ammunition in them. They're going to be just as bad again.
Well, they better load up all the chambers, because it's going to be a shootout before this one's over today. As they come around, you're watching further back in the field, Greg Saxon, that yellow and green car. That's the 46th, running in 5th spot. And he's still locked in a war with his pal Schrader out of the Hendrick stable. Those two have had their own fight all afternoon. Here's Sterling Marlin's 45. He is now into 4th going by. And in 5th is Greg Sachs. 6th is Schrader. 7th is Kyle Petty. Now, let's note that Kyle Petty was having trouble early in this race, and he's made it up and is being shown among the leaders in his Pontiac.
Well, I tell you, sometimes at a track like this, you can be off and start cranking around. They've had the opportunity to go into the pits a couple times. They've got them better, and they're going to dial on these things the rest of this section here. But when they stop, you're really going to see them working those chassis.
Ken, Tommy Houston did go behind the wall, and he is one of the top competitors, and he did pull her in the garage area.
Currently 4th in the Grand National standings of NASCAR. Big Trickle stays out in front. 2nd spot is Gant. And now look at 99. There's Tommy Ellis doing his own thing out here. Tommy Ellis up into 9th spot.
Tommy made a pit stop a while ago on a reverse direction. Maybe they put the left sides on the right. He was heading backwards, which I've done that several times myself.
Really?
I went in one time with the Wood brothers and spun the car out. The guys had to run around the opposite side to change tires. I had it completely reversed. They pulled off just a perfect pit stop. I was in the wrong direction.
There's a good scramble further back. That's Davey Allison. And he's fighting with Dana Patton, a young driver from Enfield, New Hampshire. They got in a big scramble with Jimmy Spencer and got Jimmy Spencer suspended from the Grand National Series for a couple of races. That altercation last weekend. And there's the 34 also in there, Jack Sprague. I think you're going to hear a lot more about Jack Sprague in years to come. He's a fine racer. Whoop, gets a little high here and having to fade to the outside with Davey Allison in that white car. These cars really look like they've expended the rubber. Those are tired tires out there on those cars.
Wouldn't you hate to have that view in your rear view mirror? That would be scary to me.
The only thing worse than that is if they just look a little bit higher and see that mustache hanging over that dashboard. With his eyes real big, he's aiming at you.
The Crown Igloo camera giving us those shots. Here's the leader, 92, coming around. Dick Trickle, let's go to his pits. Charlie Harvin.
I'm here with Larry Penn, Dick Trickle's crew chief. He's getting his talking on Dick as he crosses the line in front. You were a little loose at the start, Larry. Have you done anything to the car? You were a little loose at the start. Have you done anything to the car?
Just about neutral right now. He's got his hands full with it. Trying to hold Harry off. So he's giving all he can. So
you're going to wait till the halfway point to make an adjustment?
Yeah. We only got 15 more laps.
You know what's great about that, Ken? I live in this stuff every day, and I didn't know Larry Penn was a crew chief. He worked with us for 7 years in the old days and started his own business building transmission and gears, and now he's a crew chief.
Well, that's a good indication of how well you ran your race team. You had some quality people. You just couldn't pick them out.
Let them all get away, didn't I?
Yeah, where are you going to start tomorrow, John?
Dead last. Provisional. I feel good about it, though. We're going for the Heinz Ketchup Award. Heinz Ketchup Award. People overlook this. Ooh, we got trouble coming out of 3. He saved it.
92, Dick Trickle staying up in front with 85 laps complete. 2nd spot is Harry Gant. 3rd is Sterling Marlin. There's the 34, Sprague. Down to the bottom, trying to gather it back up. He's going to bring it in.
He must have a tire going down. It's shaking real bad.
You know, I hadn't sat on this side of the fence very much, Ken, but if you ever interviewed one of these guys leading the race and said it was working good, I just noticed he said they're having trouble, and Dick's got his hands full trying to hold the car, but it seems like he's driving away.
Neil, we never wanted to bring it up with you, but Those drivers out there, never runs right. Never runs right.
I should have remembered that part. I've had a little amnesia, but I should remember that part.
So Trickle stays in first, Gant stays in second. And here's our running in that lead lap, fighting for position here. Kyle in the pit Condor car comes to the bottom of the track.
And that's a big surprise because I talked with Kyle early. They have fought it all week long to get that car to run. And on race day, boom, here's the thing to go. They got a good day going.
10 laps to the end of this segment. Here's Kyle Petty up another spot. Ken Schrader dropping back one, and there's Dale Jarrett. Remember, we saw him up in front, and those 3 or 4 have fallen back into a second pack now.
You know, that's what doesn't make sense. You know, when I drive them, I do the same thing they're doing here. But here we are 10 laps away from a timeout. Let's regroup, cool them down, freshen them up, go again. And these guys are fighting for one position on this whole racetrack, and they're going at it pretty hard. But that's what it's all about.
You really want to have some fun, you really got to stick your neck out and put your foot down hard.
Oh, yeah, you know, right here, they're not racing for the lead, but Kyle Petty's trying to outrun Ken Schrader. Ken Schrader's trying to outrun Kyle, and that's what it's all about.
And so is Dale Jarrett right in there mixing it up as well. 93 complete. Trickle first, Gant second, Marlin third, Michael Waltrip fourth.
Ken, you mentioned that Dick Trickle, our leader, has a wedding anniversary to celebrate tomorrow. Kyle Petty right there running ahead of Kenny Schrader on the left side of your screen also has a big day coming. He turns 30 years of age next week. He was second at Rockingham earlier this season before he took his Winston Cup car out and absolutely dominated the field. He'd like to win one to celebrate his own birthday next week.
That means if he races as long as Harry Gant or so, he's only got 20 more years to run.
Running in fifth spot is Sachs, and sixth is Schrader now. Back goes Petty to seventh. Dale Jarrett is eighth. Tommy Ellis is ninth. Dana Patton stays 10th. Jimmy Hensley 11th. Mark Martin in 12th. Darrell is running 13th. Dave Resendez is 14th. Earnhardt fallen to 15th. Davey Allison to 16th. Kenny Wallace to 17th. You think Earnhardt said, well, we're coming up on a break. No sense beating this thing up. Maybe he's the one that's doing the old patience as a virtue game.
I think maybe to a point, but he's faded so much back. I'm sure he's taking easy on the car, but he's out of a lot of race cars. So he used an awful lot. Harry was so strong and he ran him so hard. He might be taking it easy, but I think he's falling back a little further than he wants to be.
Earnhardt's always been known for his patience, hadn't he, Neil, in a race car? I mean, you've lived with him a long time.
Well, I might have forgot a lot of things, but not that. He's not very patient. He wants to go.
When y'all go hunting together, he's real patient, right?
It's the only time he's never hit me. I've dodged all those bullets all these years.
96 laps complete. Johnny Hayes, Neil Bonnet alongside Ken Squire here at the Champion Spark Plug 300 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ralph Shaheen, Charlie Harville down on the pit road. Bob Barsha standing by to update us from the Igloo Pit Center as this race moves towards the conclusion of the first segment. We'll have a break, bunch them all back up, and send them on their way. Great crowd is out here today as our race time camera with Bobby Labonte gives us these pictures going down into turn 3, rather.
Yeah, he's looking through that busted windshield right there. They might stick a windshield on it in that thing on the stop because that's a nuisance right where that's at. That's when that little bracing is really beneficial. He didn't have that strut directly on that crack. That thing would cave in on him.
Bobby Labonte running a lap down. He is the 21st. They are now reporting 20 cars in the lead lap. He's 21st.
Yeah, and that's amazing at this point of the race because we're running a very fast pace. But we got 20 good race cars in the lead lap. Still got a shot to win in the second segment.
Lap 101, the pace car will come out. Working lap 102 with the pace car will be the field. They'll be brought into the pits. Then a 15-minute intermission and send them back out.
Then we got 2 laps to halfway, so these guys are just going to wind this thing down and see if we can't regroup and see what we can do now.
Everybody as surprised about Trickle as I knew you had to sit on the pole, but this is amazing.
I tell you, it makes you wonder times, they haven't been running that many Busch Grand National races. Where does the engine come from? How do they get the combination? Evidently, they got a strong V6 motor in that car.
Well, Neil was firing on me because I didn't know anything about this deal. Neil, won't you tell me who owns that car and a little bit about the team and the teammates in it, because you've been real close to that situation.
All right, go ahead, John.
The car is sponsored by Redcoat out of Australia. A good group of folks. I met them when I was in Australia. Too bad you didn't get to go down there yourself.
I love rich people, don't you? They just go to Australia to vacation. That's neat. I'm sorry you brought it up, Neil.
I went down there for a living. I had to work. Had to win the race.
And you did.
Got lucky. Put a lucky lap in down there.
So we're at 100 laps down. Caution flag comes out. Pace car getting ready to come on. And as they finish the first 100 laps, it'll be Dick Trickle first, Harry Gant in second, Sterling Marlin third, Michael Waltrip fourth, Greg Sachs fifth, Kyle is sixth, Ken Schrader seventh, Dale Jarrett eighth, Tommy Ellis ninth, Dana Patton 10th, Jimmy Hensley 11th, Mark Martin is 12th, Darrell is 13th, Dave Resendez 14th, Davey Allison 15th, Earnhardt is 16th, Kenny Wallace 17th, Patty Moise 18th, Elton Sawyer 19th, and Jeff Burton 20th. And Patty Moise off to a pretty good start, stays in the lead lap, stays up with him.
Yeah, had trouble early too.
Pit road is locked off at the present time. Pace car ready to bring out the field in turn 1, hold them in position, and then bring them down onto pit road next time by. Well, your reaction to the first part of this race. Mine is a bit of surprise. I knew that Dick Trickle's a great driver, won that Winston Open. I've watched him run a lot of short tracks, but this was amazing.
He showed a lot of strength. I think Harry's...
We're back at Charlotte Motor Speedway in our exclusive World Sports coverage of the Busch Grand National Champion 300 at Charlotte. I'm Bob Barsha speaking to you from our Igloo Pit Communication Center. We are now down into our 15-minute hold. Now, a lot of folks want you to believe that that's so that drivers can get out, stretch their legs, take a look at the race car, put new tires on, fuel them up, get ready for the remaining 98 laps of this race. But we have found out otherwise, and you've got an exclusive scoop here. The real reason for this 15-minute hold is to sell more hot dogs. And our man on the scene with the story is Mark Pfister.
Thank you very much, Bob. We're waiting for the second 98 laps to be run right now, but the fans are starting to pile in front of the hot dog stand. These are run by the Charlotte Motor Speedway, but they're manned by volunteers who like to raise money for their nonprofit organizations. With me is the manager of the stand from the Charlotte Rugby Football Club, Bob McLeod. How you doing, Bob?
Good. How you doing today?
We're doing fine. Now, how many hot dogs do you think you're going to sell over the next, 20 minutes?
I would think that we're going to sell between 250 to 350 hot dogs in the next 20 minutes. We hope to go like hell.
Let's take a look at what you got on the grill. Tell me about some of the things you're cooking up here.
Okay, what we've got is a regular hot dog. The wiener of it is called Speedway dog. We've got a quarter pounder, and we've got a spicy hot, which is like the quarter pounder, hamburgers, and a bratwurst. And we're ready to go. Bring them on.
You project about 350.
I would think so.
Well, we brought out a very nice piece of technology here. This is called Pfister's Weenie Meter. And what we'll do is we'll keep track of the weenies sold here at the hot dog stand over the next 20 minutes, and we'll average it out for dogs per minute, DPM, and let you know how it develops over the next, 20 minutes or so.
We got it all covered today, that's for sure, Neil.
I'd like to run one of those up here to me. I'm kind of hungry myself.
Well, after watching the eating habits of John Hayes over here, Lord. All right, let's go to Charlie Harville and find out what's going on with those leaders down on pit road.
Let's find out from Dick Trickle himself. How are things going, Dick?
Well, the car's running pretty good. You know, we started the race terrible loose, and they tightened me up a little bit over that pit stop. But, you know, Larry Penn, the crew chief, and Mac Martin, the owner, you know, they're just small guys. You know, it's kind of a fun thing for us, and I'm having a lot of fun, actually. But, you know, the peak of the performance here, the peak thing is that we picked up a new sponsor just for this race, and we're giving them quite a ride, you know. So, you know,
can you win this race? Can you hold off all those people?
Well, we're correcting the car a little bit. It was just a little bit loose yet, but you know, Red Coat, you know, steel tubing has sponsored the car. We hope to have them a few more races, and you know, I just got to thank everybody that's behind me, for my whole Winston Cup crew, the Phil 66 people that are trying to make me go tomorrow, and these cats are making me look good today. You know, I got that cat. I got that from Richard Petty. These cats.
And happy anniversary. Tomorrow is his anniversary. Let's find out from Ralph Shaheen what goes on with the pursuers.
Well, Charlie, we're up here with Harry again. Harry's trying to cool off a little bit in the car. Harry, a fantastic ride up through the pack. Everything going fine with this car? You just driving the wheels off of it?
Well, it's going good. You know, Chris and Ed, all the SCO team, they done a super job getting this car ready, you know, along with Mike Lofton and his people down in South Carolina. And, you know, it's pretty close, so it was a little bit loose then. And, you know, it sort of took its toll on our tires. But Dick's running awful strong, and we'll make some adjustments here, see if we can get him.
Well, now, what's it going to take to get him? As you said, he is running awfully strong.
Yeah, you know, I think we could have been a little better if with just a little bit loose. And I wasn't able to run through the corner, I don't think, as good as he was coming off the corner. So that's the biggest problem we got. If we can adjust that out with not going too far to the extreme, making it push, we'll stand a good chance. If we start pushing something, though, you know, everybody back here can be as quick as we are. You know, we run real good. Me and Dick out front there, we got going and got away from everybody, but that's, I think, because the tires, the setup was a little better maybe than some other cars, which Dick's was better than mine was.
All right, we're going to let Harry catch his breath and get set for the second half. Ken?
Dick Trickle continues to lead.
Speedway is quiet as we are still in our hold, the mid-race hold here in the Champion Spark Plug Busch Grand National 300. Hello, everyone. I'm Bob Varsha at our Igloo Pit Communication Center. And while we have some time, I want to point out the latest innovation here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Entering turns 1 and 3 on this 1.5-mile tri-oval are a series of 5 day-glow stripes. They're there so that the drivers, particularly the new ones, the drivers unfamiliar with these super speedways, have an idea where to lift entering those turns. You do not go flat out all the way around Charlotte Motor Speedway. Driver Buddy Baker suggested them. Baker used to have a friend wear a day-glow red shirt and sit at his favorite racetrack down in Columbia, South Carolina, so Buddy would know when to lift going into the turns. Except for one night when that friend said he got hit by a piece of debris, so he thought he'd move down the racetrack. Unfortunately for Buddy, he moved closer to the corner. Buddy waited till he got to his friend in the shirt, lifted. By then it was too late. He said, I went off that racetrack backwards at 700 miles an hour. Humpy Wheeler here at Charlotte seems to think it's a good idea to put him on this 170-mile-an-hour super speedway, and so we have them. Let's go back now to Mark Pfister, our man in the grandstands, and find out how the hot dog count is going. Mark?
Thank you very much, Bob. Oh, it's gone pretty darn good. After about 5 minutes, we sold 75 dogs here at the hot dog stand. That gives us an exclusive World Sports DPW, that's dogs per minute, of 15 dogs per minute. So we'll give you an update in just a couple of minutes.
All right, down on pit row, the activity is just as intense. Crews adjusting wedge. The sway bars are adding water, oil, getting a little air if they need it now. And those are the only changes allowed. No parts changes on the cars this year, Neil Bonnet.
And that's a change because, as we mentioned earlier, Dale Jarrett struggled to this section of the race a year ago, changed rock arms and come back and won the race. So I think there was some discrepancy there, so now they don't let them do the major work on the cars.
Here's Ralph Shaheen.
All right, Ken, we were all set to grab Bobby Labonte here, and he's going to grab a quick cup cold of water here, and we're going to ask him a quick question. Bobby, now you got a problem with your windshield, and it's cracked, and you can't make any changes to that. What can you change?
Well, we just make adjustments, I guess. You know, they won't let us change a windshield, but they'll let us change some adjustments in the car. But, you know, the Penrose car is not working as good as we want it to, but we're going to make a couple adjustments here, and hopefully it'll get better.
Is the windshield become awfully bothersome to you in that first half?
Nah, just some glass at first, but ain't that big a deal.
Bobby Labonte, you're going to have to suffer through a cracked windshield here in the second half. Ken?
Neil Bonnet sat up here and giggled all during that Bob Varsha report about those white lines down in turn 3.
Well, those orange marks on the wall are a good idea, but you can tell that the veterans put them up there because they didn't want the rookies going that any further than that. That's about 100 yards short of where you lift at. These guys are driving the cars about 10 lengths past there at least, and maybe right on down the middle of the corner. So I think these guys are trying to snooker the new guys, get them lift a little bit early.
Well, I heard Earnhardt talking to his crew right before qualifying the other day that he could flat-foot it through 1 and 2 and would have to lift a little bit through 3 and 4. So you're absolutely right.
Well, you don't expect these guys to tell everybody the top secrets right off the bat. That was a good. It looks nice over the wall anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I bet that Earnhardt's going to be thrilled that Gerda Gossip has told everybody here about where he is not lifting and where he is cracking the throttle a little. Let's talk to Dale Earnhardt right now.
Dale, you were real strong at the start of this thing, and then you fell back. What's going on with the car?
Well, we was racing with Harry there, and all of a sudden the engine started running sour. It sort of went flat on me like a Coca-Cola sitting in the refrigerator open all night. So, you know, we were working with it. We changed ignition and checked the engine out. We don't see any problem. All the gauges are normal. It just lost some horsepower. We're hoping the ignition maybe went weak, and we got a backup system in the car. We just switched it over there and see if it'll help it.
Could that possibly be the signs of a cylinder maybe going away?
No, I don't think it's any problem inside like a piston or anything. Valve springs are being loosened, you know, getting weak or loosening up, or either ignition. It's got to be something like that. We're going to ride it out and see what it does in the start of this second half. And if it runs okay, we're going to stay out there with it and try to see what we can do.
Well, Ken, if things can get settled together here for Dale Earnhardt, you know he'll find a way back up to the front.
Well, there he is, car number 3, the Dominator, here at the start-finish line area, under 2 minutes and counting for the restart of the Champion Spark Plug 300. After this mandatory stop, and up here on my left is Johnny Hayes, and to my right is Neil Bonnet, watching these drivers jumping in and out of their cars, gentlemen down there, doing a lot of looking those machines over. Huh?
I'll have to tell you, it's a lot cooler up here than it normally is in that race car. You've got pretty good seats sitting up here right now.
Yeah, did you notice who didn't get out of their race car?
Certainly did. That little black car, the man never climbed out of the window. The job's done. Harry Gant didn't want to get out either. Maybe they're too tired to get out right now.
Listen, Dale Earnhardt asked me if we got a chance to say hello to A.J. Foyt in Indianapolis. They're good friends. He told me to deliver the message because he'll be sitting up there at the Simpson building with all the guys watching this race. Don't lift, A.J. Don't lift. Win it for the boys down here.
Field getting organized, getting set on a start for the final segment of this Champion Sparkplug 300. And as they bring them out, it'll be Trickle on the point, Harry Gant alongside, Sterling Marlin, Michael Waltrip third and fourth, Greg Sachs fifth, Kyle Petty sixth. As you see the rundown through the entire field here. Field now organizing, pushing all the cars down pit road to get them set for the start.
I think what we're going to have to really look for now, Ken, is if there is a change in the guy that can take command. You know, Trickle seemed to be right on. I doubt seriously if they made much change to that car. There's going to be a lot of adjusting on the rest of these cars to see if they can run his pace now. Be interested in the first few laps to see if somebody's made the right move with that chassis. 23 cars are running in the lead lap. Dick Trickle has run one Grand National race this year, and it's in this very same car that he finished 23rd at Daytona earlier. He's run 3 previous Grand National races at Charlotte back in the 70s. He was and didn't really have a finish in any of them. 79, 73, 74 he was here, and out of those 3 occasions his best finish 23rd. So I tell you what, the one thing he has done a lot of times, he's won over 1,000 races. This guy races 4 and 5 nights a week all his life, and he's quite a racer, and there's certainly no strings just him adapt to this.
Let's go down in the pits to Mark.
Thank you very much. We've checked our new DPM, dogs per minute, here at the hot dog stand. We're up to 22.3 dogs per minute. They're really putting them out down here. 223 dogs after the first 10 minutes. Now, one of the biggest questions and mysteries with hot dogs are the fact that the buns come in packages of 12, but the dogs come in packages of 10. Now, Bob, hello. Do you guys have a problem with surplus bunnage?
Yeah, we've got a problem with the buns around here. We all do. Women. No, we don't. We kind of balance this whole thing out, and we eat what's left.
Thank you.
That's the rugby team. You don't mess with no rugby players. I know that.
Certainly looked like a few of them had eaten a few of those extra buns. Here we are getting the field organized and ready to go again at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the second half of the Champion Sparkplug 300 today. It's 200 laps, 300 miles. It's 2 segments of competition. 15-minute intermission is just about to come to conclusion, and we'll get going to this racing again. Okay, guys, what are we going to see in the second half?
Well, I can't help but think we're going to see some close racing like we did the start of the other segment. And maybe continuing on right to the end. The guys pretty well fought for the first 15 or 20 laps. Then it seemed after the big Earnhardt and Harry Gant battle, it pretty well leveled out. I think you're going to see a big scramble early.
I think the same thing. I think we got to get out quick
on the track. Rick Mast has come in for a quick pit stop. Field is going into turns 1 and 2. They're going to get green this time by. With Dick Trickle up in front, Harry Gant's car number 7 in the second position. Gant has fought his way all the way from dead last. He crashed late yesterday afternoon here on the mile-and-a-half track in turn 2. Just slid up into the wall. He and Dale Earnhardt have been running side by side. He nearly nipped the Earnhardt car, slapped his car in, had to change the front end over on the machine. They literally cut it off, put on a new clip, and in a fresh automobile, he's come to run second.
And I mean, refreshing. I'm telling you, that thing had some work done. It's in good shape now. One thing we're going to keep in mind here, these guys will have to make a pit stop. Not a mandatory, but they're going to have fuel for these cars. So we're going to see some pit action. That's going to be critical also.
Jeff Burton of South Boston, Virginia, is still on pit road, and they're working on the left side of his car. We get ready to roll another time. Field coming down out of 4, ready to rumble. Live on World Sports from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the second half of the Champion Sparkplug Grand National 300 is into turn 1. Sterling Marlin in that 48 car that's running third, bottom of the track, the white car. He led in the early part of this event, if you're just joining us. Slid back, now he's back up and ready to contend. From 16th spot on the field comes Dale Earnhardt in the number 3. If he's got anything to show, now is the time to do it. Up in front.
One in the wall up here in 3 and 4.
Got one car just grazing the wall and off it again. And I don't think we're even going to get a caution out of it. Coming down by, see who it was. It just nipped it. The car 26 just got a little piece of it out there. Was able to gather it up and keep going. That was Davey Johnson. Pennsylvania. Here's Earnhardt. Number 3 car still trying to work his way through the field as Jimmy Hensley's Crown Igloo in-car camera gives this a remarkable picture of Mark Martin on the charge. He is in 12th position, the number 1.
Harry Gant's falling back a little bit. Sterling Marlin jumped right up under him. Michael Waltrip's under him, and Greg Sachs going by.
Harry made the statement that they were going to try to tighten the car up a little bit. And when you do tighten the car, maybe for the first few laps it runs slower. But as the race progressive, if he did that, he should get better as more he runs.
And here come the Bruce brothers back there, the 3 and the 17 coming through traffic. That's Earnhardt, and with him comes Waltrip. Still back there in those 16th and 17th positions. And you're looking back at them as they close up. Move in on Jimmy Hensley. Leaders coming back to the stripe. 105 complete with the leader still Trickle. And Marlin now takes over in 2nd position with Michael Waltrip 3rd. Greg Sachs fighting his way up through, finds 4th. Harry Gant falls to 5th. Sterling Marlin showing the strength he showed at the outset of the race. Lap speed 162.2 miles per hour last time around. 162.2 on cars 92 and 48. Trickle and Marlin respectively, Pontiac and Oldsmobile.
Marlin sure putting the heat on Trickle. Seems like Trickle has control, but somebody's nipping him all the time, a different car.
And Michael Waltrip is right there, and Michael's been strong all day. He jumped right by Harry, and look at him right there. And of course, Greg Sachs in 4th place in Robert G's car, which has been a consistent winner here.
Robert G's had a lot of winners he brought out to this mile and a half. 2 leaders are in turns 4. 107 laps complete of 200. Sterling Marlin looks like he's stout enough to make a run on these people. He's definitely on the move.
You know, Trickle's not flinching, though. I mean, he's holding that spread that he held before, and he doesn't seem to be having any problem right now.
Back straightaway, Marlin definitely moving into within a car and a half length.
The 48 car seems to be having smoke coming out. Sterling Marlin's car is smoking just a little bit. Might be tire smoke as hard as running. We'll have to see what it is.
Those 2 cars now get about a 20-car length advantage, 92 and 48 over Waltrip in 3rd. Greg Sachs line 4th. Kyle Petty comes to 5th. Jarrett to 6th, and Gant falls to 7th. Gant falling back. Here's Marlin making a challenge for the lead. Down to the inside, 48. Sterling Marlin going for 1st place. Got it.
I think I see why it was smoking. He was smoking it to the front. Probably tires a while ago.
Sterling Marlin takes over up in front. Think Trickle was willing to let him go through there?
I think Trickle did let him go. I think he was pushing him so hard from behind. I think Trickle said, well, let me push you a little bit, buddy. See how you like your rear window filled up. So I think Trickle's fine. I think Sterling, we knew he was good all along. I think we still got the same good race car driver.
You know, Sterling, the first time he came back here was in the 70s. His dad used to race here. It looks like he was paying a little bit of attention to what was going on. Running awful good here.
Well, Sachs on the end in that 4th spot.
Anybody's father whose name is Cuckoo should be driving a race car.
Cuckoo ran some good races here, and Cuckoo came to town to see Sterling run this weekend. Came in from Tennessee. Front runner, and drawing away by 12 car lengths, Sterling Marlin. Car 99, there's Tommy Ellis. He's the first of the Grand National ranks, and he's up in 6th position. Car number 99, right behind Dale Jarrett, running currently in 6th. Back to the stripe for 111 complete. Marlin 1st, Trickle 2nd, Michael Waltrip 3rd, Greg Sachs 4th.
You know, it's something we have to go back to 7th to get the Grand National drivers. They've totally dominated this race the last few years, and don't rule these guys out. They can still come up here and take this race.
Well, they have for the last 3 times out. That Robbie Moroso just blew everybody off. They may have to show a roadmap to some of these guys like Winston Cup stars that haven't won here recently, how to get to victory lane today.
You know, Tommy Ellis has quietly come to the front. We hadn't called his name a lot, but he is driving a heck of a race. Now he's gaining on him.
From Jimmy Hensley's camera, and Jimmy Hensley currently running in the 10th position. You're seeing Davey Allison in a Chevrolet. You bet, aluminum for Davey. Car 28, that white machine as it lopes on down here into turn 1 at about 165
like out of all the cars, the Sterling Marlin car, they really made some good adjustments on that car.
Coming by on the outside, you see the blue car. That's Dale Jarrett working Schrader. Dale Jarrett fighting. Bottom of the racetrack, Schrader right there with him. Gant has fallen back again. Things are off on Harry's car. We need to get a pit report on car number 7 because all of a sudden things don't look so strong for Harry Gant with that great run he made earlier.
Well, a car will run it real fast around this racetrack. The fastest way to get around is loose, but you can't lever so much. They tighten it up. Evidently, they went a little bit too much. I saw tire smoke coming off the 4th turn. They can get a caution. They can get a crank back like it needs to be.
Going up into the 3rd spot goes Greg Sachs. Michael.
Welcome back to our Igloo Pit Communications Center here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm Bob Barsha. We hope you picked up today's World Sports exclusive of the Champion 300 Busch Grand National Race through the listings in Race Time magazine, a slick new magazine that gives you the inside scoop on televised motorsports. If you haven't got Race Time, you're missing a lot. So keep a pencil handy. Watch for the subscription number coming your way. Get a copy of Race Time. Sterling Marlin is making this one look easy. Let's get back to the racetrack action now with Ken Squire.
Sterling Marlin is out in front of D. Bob. He's run only one Grand National race this year, and that was down at Daytona, where he finished up in 24th. His best Charlotte run was back in 88 in this event when he came home in 11. We're watching the car 27 coming. He was given a black flag out here. Alton Sawyer, Chesapeake, Virginia.
He's been leaking oil and smoking, so they'll bring him in and see, find out what's wrong with it.
You know, and Elton just got a brand new sponsor. This is their first race. Gewaltney, Smithfield Hams and stuff, and they wanted to come out and have such a very good showing, and they're getting ready to, they're going to finish the year with them, so I'm sorry they didn't get off to a better start.
Meanwhile, Sterling Marlin has gotten off to a tremendous start in the second half of this Champion Spark Plug 300. Further back in the field, there's Tommy Ellis in the 99, and that is a dandy scrap. Michael Waltrip in the 30 is challenging Ellis for 4th. Greg Sachs in his Chevy is running in 6th spot. We're watching the fight going on between Ellis, Waltrip, and Sachs for 4th place on this mile-and-a-half track, and here's Sachs coming down to the inside again. Sachs went the first half of the race almost wheel-to-wheel with Ken Schrader all the way around the entire distance. Now Schrader's back in 10th. Davey Allison's in 9th. Jimmy Hensley's in 8th. And Kyle Petty's in 7th.
I'll tell you, Tommy Ellis right there is quite a competitor. He's ran this Busch Series for years and years and years. He's one of the toughest guys on the circuit. Saxon's guys got their work cut out for him to get him.
Busting through cars. There's your leader. There goes Sterling Marlin. Lapping Billy Stanbridge. And with him comes Dick Trickle. And Trickle cuts it down to about a 5-car length advantage. Spread to about 10.
Well, Dale Jarrett has come back up, too, to become a factor. So they made a good change in this pit stop because they are certainly coming to the front.
Leading the majority of the laps in the first segment of the race, the first half, was Trickle. No driver, as John Hayes pointed out, has led at halftime in this format and then gone on to win.
Well, Dale mentioned earlier that it felt like something was flat on the car, and it is flat. I'm telling you, on the restart, you just couldn't get it going. He had seemed like it didn't accelerate.
There you see Earnhardt's car, and here's Resendez going around him now. Let's find out more about this. Go to Ralph Shaheen.
Ken, we had a chance to talk with Tony Urey, the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt, and he told me that just before they sent Dale back out onto the course, he noticed a little bit of oil leaking out of the top side of the motor. He's fearing a problem with the ring. He said he's not sure if the engine will survive this second half of the race. Now we're standing down in Harry Gant's pit, and we had a chance to talk with Chris Carrier, the crew chief for Harry Gant. He said the problem with Harry right now is the fact that they have a vibration coming out of the right front tire. So both teams having a little bit of frustration here in the first part of this second half.
There you see the Harry Gant car, number 7, that's running 12th on the field. Earnhardt is in 13th, the black number 3, and that Resendez, number 17, or rather number 79, was running 14th.
Well, this is when Harry's begging for a caution, just hoping it's not him. But he needs one bad to try to get back in this thing.
When you feel that right front tire giving trouble, you're looking for trouble every lap. If that thing goes down, you're going to put a big old square place on the right front of that car. This place is a tough place to lose the right front tire. And here comes the leaders working all over each other.
Trickle moves back in again to within a car and a half length. 126th lap is being worked right now, 200. You want to just sit there in second? You want to challenge now, Dan?
Well, I tell you what, I think Rusty's car, I think Sterling's car's got a little bit loose. It's going to get looser when Trickle sticks the nose of this thing up behind him. I feel like if it gets right up on him, he'll go right on by him. looks like his car's loose already. It's been loosened up real bad.
Dropping down to the inside, Trickle as they come into the main straightaway. And closing is Dale Jarrett. Dale Jarrett is definitely moving up on these two leaders. For that matter, so is Tommy Ellis in fourth, Michael Waltrip in fifth, Greg Saxon sixth.
I was kind of worried about us getting strung out. By the time we think here they come, bunching it back up again.
Does Trickle want to put pressure on Marlin and play with him and try to make his car lose before he goes around, or what's the philosophy there?
If you look up there and let that guy in front of you just be comfortable, he's going to be comfortable to lead you. If you can get there and stick that nose 6 or 8 inches off under, or just like he did up beside him, he's going to get loose, you're going back.
For the lead, Trickle back out in front. And the Sterling Marlin car drops into second. Dale Jarrett third. Tommy Ellis. Here comes Marlin right back on the inside. How about that one?
Well, he said that seemed to be pretty good for him. I'll try it one time. It's going to be tough to pass him on the inside up here. Coming to you good at high the other day there.
Excuse me, Neil. Coming to you live here on World Sports. Three-way dice for the lead. Working the 128th lap. 92 coming by. Trickle in front. The 48 is Sterling Marlin. And then Jarrett, the 88 winner in the 32 car, directly behind them, Tommy Ellis, who's having a tremendous run. Here's Ellis down to the inside. Ellis in the 99. He's had 21 Grand National victories, all short track wins. He's ready to mix it up for the lead in here. At the outset, Johnny Hayes was saying those superstars of American stock car racing that have dominated this race for many years, they've got another guest coming, another think coming in this race. Working out that way right now.
All they got to do is let Tommy Ellis just think he's got a shot at him, and he'll be right in the middle of it.
130 laps complete this time by.
We're down here in Sterling Marlin's pit, and we had an opportunity to talk to the crew about why his car has gotten loose. The problem is the stagger's off on the car, so Sterling Marlin battling a loose race car.
That's really tough with these cars with this short wheelbase. They're a handful to begin with.
That's right, Ken, and that's why you saw the big move early. A loose race car goes fast. He was loose early on fresh tires. He was able to really run out there and get away from him. The Trickle's car is good, and here he comes.
I'm in the pit with Tommy Ellis, the former Grand National champion. Got some help from his wife, Brenda, who keeps the gas starts and times the lap. Tommy started back in 19th position. He knows how to race on any...
Welcome back to Charlotte, North Carolina, where the tension is rising here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the running of the Champion 300. I'm Bob Barsha with you at our Igloo Pit Communications Center. Dick Trickle is out front, and he is hoping to write history. He would like to join these 3 drivers, David Pearson back in 1980, Harry Gant, and the late Tim Richmond, who have won this race from the pole. He's in good shape right now after Sterling Marlin dropped back. Let's check on Dick's progress now with Ken Squire.
Biggest story right now is that 17 Waltrip has pulled onto the pit road. He was figured to be a contender. Here's the story up in front, Bob. Trickle is in front with Dale Jarrett now serving as the challenger. A lap down goes Waltrip in the 17.
And the hood goes up, and that is not a good sign.
That's the wrong end you want to work on when one of these things are on green.
136 laps are complete.
I personally am pulling for Patty Moise to pass Dale Earnhardt and Harry Gant. That would be great because I could really get them tonight after this race.
She's running well out here thus far. Trickle stays first. Jarrett right there's Patty Moise, and she's running in the 14th position. Had herself sorted out, stays in the lead lap. 20 cars remain in the lead lap as they work lap 138, working 138.
You know, Earnhardt's helped Patty Moise a lot and helped set her car up with her, give her advice, and I'm glad to see her having a good run.
She's just behind Dave Resendez in the 79. He's in the 13th position just up in front there, and she's also closing on Harry Gant in the 7. So Patty Moise, who cut her teeth on IMSA racing. There they are. There's car 7, Harry Gant in 12th, Dave Resendez running in 13th.
52 car Ken Strader just went by smoking in both corners. He's a little off the pace, but he's really got some smoke coming out of that car also.
That could be terminal for Strader this afternoon. Meanwhile, we're following the 12th position battle. Here's Resendez. The story he is. He comes from up in Massachusetts. His dad has opened up a shop down here in Charlotte, North Carolina. He put on a great race at Nazareth, Pennsylvania a couple of weeks back. Jimmy Hensley came home victorious.
Again, I think Neil Bonnet would be the first to admit that you need a good guy behind the wheel. You also need a good guy in the pits. And Dave Resendez has a good one. Darrell Bryant, who used to turn the wrenches for Lake Speed's Winston Cup effort, is now in Resendez's pit. And that's going to be a big help to his career plans on the speedways.
Coming up to lap 140 with Trickle in the 92 first, Jarrett the 32 second, and Sterling Marlin comes back to life another time.
I tell you, evidently got those tires cooled down. They worked on them pretty hard. He's cooled down. All three of those guys are really mixing it up now. Sterling's pretty strong in the rear back there.
Just 8 car lengths back like Tommy Ellis in 4th, and 5 car lengths behind him, the Pontiac of Michael Waltrip. Kyle Petty stays 6th, Greg Sachs 7th.
The car smoking coming out of turn 2.
Down in the bottom of the racetrack is Rick Mast, who's been down a couple of laps.
Not only that, but evidently right in 1 and 2 when he lost that motor, everybody's about to knock the wall down running through the oil in that corner.
It did bring the caution out.
5th caution of the day. Caution number 5 comes at lap 140.
There's a lot of these guys that can certainly use this. Harry Gant needed to work on that car. He tightened it up too much. We could get a different complexion right here, but you're going to see some people jump in those pits.
So, as we're under caution, we'll pause for this. Came on pit road, and everybody has returned except one. Dale Earnhardt's number 3 is still on pit road. Let's go see if we can find out more about the Darrell Waltrip story. Bob?
Well, Ken, this is Ralph Sheehan. We're down here with Darrell Waltrip. Darrell, you were making up some... What happened to you?
Well, something's happened to the motor now. We were coming back to the front, and I think we had a car... One more time, one more caution, and one more in, and I think we'd have been okay. Getting spun out there early put us at the back, and we had to work on the car a little bit to get it straightened back out. It knocked the front out a little bit, and we kept moving. I think we had it pretty good.
A frustrating roller coaster ride for Darrell Waltrip. Ken?
Let's go right to Mark Pfister while we're under this caution, getting the track ready to race again.
Thanks,
I think he's
Ken.
in the Speedway
From
Club.
hot dogs and bratwurst and hamburgers in the grandstands, we're up in the Speedway Club with one heck of a great spread here. We've got everything from the salad, the fixins, to Italian salad, all the way down to fried flounder, fried chicken, macaroni and cheese. Things are great, and gosh, you would love these big strawberries. Ken, is there anything I can bring you?
Now, that's the way I like to race. Right there is racing for me.
Yeah,
I would
know
do
what
good in
that's
that.
about.
Well, I've always been on the other side of the fence, and they always threw me an old soft drink in the window, and then you spilled it all over yourself, a little bit of grease and grime. I know how you've always been.
Oh, yeah, you made $5 million in your career.
I like the way you guys prepared to do the race today. Neil Bonnet is down there all morning taking notes, finding out what's going on. John Hayes is down here having a Thomas cigar, feet up over in one of the lounges, watching the band perform.
But I guess on what's going on. Neil is an expert. He looks into it. But I guess, you know, and in this sport, you do just about as good guessing.
Yeah, we can see that by the way he puts snouts on in the middle of the night. The car seems to fly better.
143 laps are complete, and here you see the leader, and there's a big sort out now after that pit stop when everybody came on pit road. 99, Tommy Ellis, seeking his 22nd Grand National victory, is up in front. Dale Jarrett in that 32 car will run in second, and the number 46 of Greg Sachs will be third, with Sterling Marlin in fourth, and in fifth will be Kyle Petty. Glad to have you with us today here. We're up above the start-finish line, enjoying this race, hoping you are too. Going sixth will be Dick Trickle, seventh will be Davey Allison, in eighth Jimmy Hensley, ninth will be Ken Schrader as they come by us down below. Running in 10th is Harry Gant, in 11th is L.D. Ottinger, 12th Kenny Wallace, 13th Bobby Labonte, 14th Dave Resendez as we get set to do business.
It's going to be key now. These last adjustments these guys made on these cars, they better hit it right in case it goes green the rest of the way, because you're not going to have to make a stop unless the caution. If they don't have a caution, they better have them right now.
Charlie Harville or Ralph Shaheen, we're a little interested in that car number 3 as to what the situation is. They started to come out, they stopped, they stayed on pit road. He had talked about an ignition problem earlier, but there seems to be more to it than that. From Jimmy Hensley's Crown Igloo in-car camera, Jimmy Hensley in the car, 25. He's in 8th place, and there lurking right behind him like a shark is Ken Schrader. 9th position car, Schrader Chevy. As they line up, it's Buick in first, Pontiac in second, Chevy in third, Oldsmobile in fourth. Ellis, Jarrett, Saxon, Marlin. Lap cars dropping into position, getting set for a go.
Jimmy Hensley's car is owned by drag racer Don Beverly, which is really interesting how the drag racers are getting interested in this sport now.
Yeah, Raymond Beadle, Kenny Bernstein, we got some of the best with us right now.
Down to the line. Inside cars in the lead lap. Tommy Ellis knows how to make those cars a little wider in the corners, doesn't he?
If that thing will run, he'll show him the back of it for a while.
Well, this is when everybody has to force the issue to get up front, because people like Harry Gant, who have good cars, cannot stand to get hung back in the traffic.
55 laps to go to decide it here this afternoon, and Tommy Ellis, like a rocket, comes out from that start. Here he is leading this time by with Dale Jarrett in second. Greg Sachs looking him over. Marlin rides fourth. Dick Trickle is in fifth. Let's see if Trickle will begin to rumble.
And I think it'll be just as tough on Tommy Ellis leading, because these people are going to really try to work on him. He's got to think who's behind him and what, so he's really got to be aware of what's going on and drive that car hard.
Big shuffle out of two. $277,000 up for grabs. To the inside, Sachs looks down there. So hard to pass in turn 3.
Yeah, the track is loose up off of that corner. You get the nose under the guy, but if you're not careful, you break the back end loose coming off the corner.
Kyle Petty is running well. He's up to 6. There are the leaders. Ellis by 2 car lengths. Dale Jarrett in second. And everybody just trying to get him back up to speed and get in the groove here.
Boy, that thing of Trickle seems to really handle in it straight away. He's making a move right back up there in front.
Well, you can see Greg Sachs just jump right up on Dale Jarrett's bumper, so he was really getting through that turn.
To the outside of Greg Sachs goes the 92. Trickle rolls it up in there for turn 1. Sachs diving low. That's right where the bump is, isn't it? In turn 1, right where we just saw Greg Sachs run.
They drive that car right over that bump. The car gets real light getting in the corner. When it settles, you get right on back in the throttle.
Sachs is the 3rd car in line in that brightly painted car. That was a movie car from the days of Thunder. But watch him work. And that's, again, that's a Robert G car. But he's really putting the pressure on Dale Jarrett.
White car dropping down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to make a move a little further back. He is Sterling Marlin. Sterling Marlin goes under Trickle.
Something seemed to happen to Trickle's car. He's lost 2 positions one time. I say that about that time he comes back in. But first time I saw 2 cars clear him at once.
Yeah, Davey Allison's there too, going after him. And the leader continues to be Ellis. There's Sterling Marlin. There's Davey Allison down on the inside of Trickle for white number 28.
Ooh, somebody's losing the motor going through 3 and 4. You can see the smoke coming out. I think the car's coming down pit road.
I wonder if that's Grissom's car.
I believe it is.
Lone motor for number 31.
Caution is out.
Caution is out as Steve Grissom out of Gadsden, Alabama. Dad Wayne here put this team together. Steve Berg's working on that car, crew chief.
Ken, this really benefits some of those cars. Like Harry Gant went from 16th to 10th. Now he's caught back up with a lot of good people. And everybody that had cars that are working really got a lucky break there.
Yeah, and also, they made changes, I'm sure, on that last stop. They ran just enough laps right then to see if they made the proper change. They still got enough time in the race that I think if some of them didn't get it just like that, won't you see them jump right back in, because this might be their last shot.
Ralph Shaheen has a report on Dale Earnhardt.
Ken, that's right. We're down here in Dale Earnhardt pit. They're getting ready for a pit stop, number 3 car. The team has been suffering all day today. First, there was a problem with the ignition box. I think they solved that, and then there was a problem with the leaking in the rings that we told you about. Now it's clutch problem. This is the car that Dale Earnhardt won the Daytona Busch Grand National race, but they rebuilt this car twice already this week. Now they're getting ready to come in for a pit stop and see if they can't get this car working the way they'd like.
There it is, the number 3 Earnhardt. This is a chance for them. They're running 15th on the field, just in front of Michael Waltrip, who's fallen back to 16th in this shakeout.
Ken, when you deal with these motors like you have with a little bit smaller power, less power in the big cars, the least bit of chassis adjustment can either make you look like a hero, a little bit too tight, it takes the power way off the corners, you fall back. These guys are probably not making just minor adjustments and seeing major changes on the racetrack.
151 laps. 154 laps complete when they come by this time in the Champion Spark Plug 300. 200 laps the distance. Tommy Ellis seeking his first Grand National Speedway win. At the moment has his Buick up in front. Dale Jarrett's in second. Greg Sachs is in third. Sterling Marlin in fourth. Dick Trickle is in fifth as we prepare for the restart. Davey Allison sixth. Kyle Petty seventh. Jimmy Hensley eighth. Ken Schrader ninth. Bobby Labonte 10th. Resendez 11th. 12th is Dale Earnhardt. 13th is Michael Waltrip. 14th is Patty DeWeese. 15th is Tom Peck. 16th is Harry Gant.
Harry Gant is the only leader that came in. He got 2 left side tires, but he put tape on the grill. Neil, what was that for?
That's the same as a chassis adjustment. When they tape a little bit of that grill up, it loosens the car up. Evidently, they over-tightened it earlier, now they loosened it up with the grill area.
Back under green. 8 lead changes among 5 drivers thus far. Over 100,000 here today. Gigantic infield. Packed to capacity.
And some. Capacity and some.
Back straight away. Jarrett moves in.
Let's try 3 deep one time, see if it'll work.
Okay. See the 27 hung on the outside, Elton Sawyer's car. Lap down to 27.
These restarts are awesome. Everywhere you look, they're going 2 and 3 wide. It's, I mean, this is worth the price of admission on the restart.
Greg Sachs down to the inside, lies third. Elton Sawyer's car, the lap car, up on the high side, and there's Dick Trickle's 92 back there in 4th.
Trickle's going to try 3 deep there.
Here we're going 3 wide. Look at this. With Sachs in the middle.
And I believe they're going to make it.
Sachs pulled out of that. He realized that was getting on very thin ice.
Look at Trickle.
Back, just look at this.
We're leaning now, folks. This is called tackle. No touch football now.
Davey Allison's right back up in this again. Down on the inside, Davies in 6th. Look at Sterling Marlin trying to make it 3 wide. Looks like he grazed the 92 car. Elton Sawyer gets pushed out of the way.
I don't think he had a whole lot of choice there. We're running, fixing to see a big old white piece of concrete on the right side.
Trickle in the 92 high. 48 Marlin low. 3rd and 4th. Behind them, Davey Allison on the bottom. Greg Sachs on the top. Switch them back and forth. There's the 32 car. Continues to be Dale Jarrett. Holding on to 2nd spot as Tommy Ellis in the 99 leads it.
It looks like the safest thing to be is up there leading because it's a pretty good little fight going on right there in that pack.
Is that fun? Does that get a little nervous?
No, it's a lot of fun. When you know the guys you're racing against like these guys do, you can put the trust in the guy that he'll sail in there 3 deep, just like Greg opened the hole up a while ago when they went in there too many cars. As long as you give and take a little bit, you can do this. When you start taking and not giving any room, you're in trouble.
That is not fun as a car owner. You're sitting there, or as a crew member, it is not fun.
I never owned one of those things. I never promised to bring anything back.
You own your son's car now. You were telling me before how much money it costs to get your boy into racing.
Yeah, but he's won 5 in a row.
Yeah, he's been doing good. I've enjoyed it.
Here is Sterling Marlin down to the inside. He was underneath Greg Sachs. This is the scramble for 4th position. Fighting for 4th. And they're even here in the corner. Off the banking and down the main straightaway. Give it back to Sterling Marlin. Now the 42 Kyle Petty up in there. He's trying a wild, wide ride into turn number 1. Looks like he's being successful up there, too.
I'll tell you, some of this racetrack, you just don't like to get in particular areas because you know you're flirting with the wall in an area. These guys aren't having any choice. Nobody's giving them any extra room. We're using up every inch of this racetrack.
Back for turn 4. Completing 160 laps this time. Dale Jarrett closing in a little on Tommy Ellis. And Dick Trickle moving up. And then this caravan of cars all fighting for position back 4th on. There's 10 of them in there together.
You know, Trickle's coming up strong. He was back probably 15, 20 car lengths. Now he's run them down.
Buick, Pontiac, back straight away. That's what it looks like when you go racing at Charlotte.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to have that view there. Look in the mirror and see, look at Strader's right front tire. That car's got to be pushing the ball, that smoke off there. Like Kenny wouldn't like to see that job right now.
I think in-car camera is probably the best thing that ever happened to televising because you can motorsport, because you can really see what's happening.
The Crown Igloo car of Jimmy Hensley maintaining 8th. Showing you Ken Schrader's Chevy running tonight.
That's unbelievable. I certainly never realized they did that. It's kind of scary to see that part of it. Only thing you got from inside there smells like a tire plant.
There it is. You can just see it coming off of it.
And there you see the car number 52. That is Schrader in 9th position. Behind him is Bobby Labonte, who's had his own with Dale Jarrett trailing right along in second spot, and Dick Trickle riding third.
Well, that thing of Trickle, just every time, no matter who else is up there, he's always one of the contenders. And it's a pretty good indication. No matter, he might race get hurt.
We're at lap 167 when they come by this time. Big change up in front. Dick Trickle has elected to show his strength, and he's pulled back into the lead. Dale Jarrett has come to second. Tommy Yollis has fallen back to third. Sterling Marlin staying in fourth. Down in turn number 3. We've got one car in the wall. Dave Resendez in the 79 bringing out a caution. And they say that a tire was rubbing on Schrader's car in the 8th position. People were getting very concerned about that. This will be a break for him.
As soon as I heard somebody say car in the wall, that's the first one I looked for, Kenny, because that smoke we saw was something against the tire rubbing. He's going to get in and get it fixed.
Dave Resendez smack up against the outside in turn 3, right at the entrance of turn 3. Resendez had a great run going today, once again. All comes to conclusion here.
Trickle taking the lead earlier.
That was 3 laps back. Tommy Ellis, and he just motors on by. When he got ready to go, he just put the spurs to it, and away it went, and he brought Jarrett with him.
When you can get one to handle down a straightaway like that, you're in pretty good shape. That car here runs up that straightaway.
Let's look again at what happened to Resendez. Resendez up here on the wall, on the back straightaway.
Here's a whole pack of cars coming about the middle of the back straightaway.
Looks like he got set over there.
Yeah. It wasn't only a tire going flat, something got into the rear of him and turned him into the wall. And he rode that entire. He's going to get to see what those little bright orange marks look like in just a minute. He's going to ride by with that car torn all to pieces.
That's where you want to stay, isn't it?
Yeah, he did the right thing. When that car gets beat up like that, keep it up on the outside. If you come across, you put that left door in a position you don't want to, with somebody coming and head on into it. He kept it up against the wall in a lot safer position.
So we're under caution.
We're back up in the Speedway Club with the latest members of the Charlotte Motor Speedway Club. They are originally from Indianapolis, Indiana, and they decided to move on down to Charlotte and join the Speedway Club. Tell me how you got interested in it, Alan.
Well, I always wanted to know what the Speedway was about because that was the big thing when I got here. They told me about the Speedway, and they said, hey, you know, go out and check it out. So when I came out and checked it out, I asked for some information. We went to the gift shop. Everything else was closed, of course, and there wasn't anything going on. So we checked it out, and we talked to them. They called us back, and we came out for dinner, and we joined.
Great. Now, how much do you lay out to become a member of the Speedway Club, Eric?
$412,000.
Oh, great. I guess you're picking up dinner.
I'll tell you what, Ken, if that's all it costs, when this broadcast is over, you and I are going to go down to the Speedway Club with Johnny Hayes and let him set us up for the afternoon.
Well, that's a very nice thought, Neil. I'm glad.
If we can,
thank you very much.
I want to do that.
Can we make reservations over the air here?
Yes.
Okay.
Average speed's 131.840 miles per hour here at the present time, and that's not going to tick off any new records. 131.840 is the present clip at which they're running with 7 cautions thus far.
I can promise you the only record today will be Hayes by dinner.
I'll tell you one record we will get. The most number of cars in the lead lap at the end previously has been 10 machines. 18 cars are in this lead lap as we get ready to get a decision on this Champion Spark Plug event.
Yes, sir, and Ken, a lot of that is the fact that these V6 motors are so reliable.
Kyle Petty up here on pit road another time. Remember that Kyle has been running in 5th position. This will put Davey Allison 5th, Hensley up to 6th, Gant up to 7th, Michael Walsh up to 8th, Labonte to 9th, Louise to 10th, Dana Patton to 11th, Kenny Wallace 12th, L.D. Ottinger 13th, Greg Sachs 14th. Schrader came in, changed a tire that was rubbing. He's in 15th. Tom Peck is in 16th. Earnhart in 17th.
Ken, Bob Barsha downstairs. Our pit communication center is right next to the pit lane. Kyle Petty came by here sounding like a marching band. These V6 engines normally have quite a whine to them, but he came through here sounding like a V8. I think maybe he busted some exhaust headers or something. That thing is a real noisemaker.
They just gave us word that Kyle Petty probably had lost fuel pressure, and evidently that's the reason that thing was popping and missing like Bob was talking about. The pressure's gone on the fuel pump.
Stays on pit road as they get ready to turn them loose another time. Trickle's Pontiac in first, Jarrett's Pontiac in second, Tommy Ellis in third, Sterling Marlin fourth, Allison fifth coming to the line. Anybody want to make a choice on a winner here today?
Every time we shake this thing out, there's a new group up front, but it seems like the dominant car that's always here is Trickle. He's going to be a handful.
Greg Sachs just ran about 20 yards into the grass trying to cut under Patty Moise.
Remember that Patty Moise has stayed in here all day, hung tough and runs in 10th position. Back under green. And again, Trickle is out in front. What a story this car is. They took it down to Daytona. Trickle drove it for them there. They didn't have much success. He said they didn't expect to hear from them again. Called him back up and said, no, we want you to run it at Charlotte. Here he is, running well.
When he decided to run it at Charlotte, he meant, I think, with the throttle wide open, I think. He's moving on with it.
Clyde third. Marlin is fourth. Davey Allison fifth.
Trickle seems to have so much more confidence. He had that great run recently, and it just seems like he's red hot. There, Harry Gant taking him 3 wide for 6th place on the backstretch. Looks like he might be able to pull it off.
Here are those leaders, 92 and 32, and that's the interval between them as we get down to 25 laps to go. 25 laps to go. Now. Patty Moise back there in the car 45, just crossing the line. She is now being shown back to 11th position. Bobby Labonte getting through. Car number 45 closes right back in another time. Up in front, 92 and 32. Still on it. Trickle and Jarrett respectively.
I tell you, Trickle's car has been right there all day long. It's going to take the right set of circumstances for somebody to be able to beat him. This car is going to give up a little bit, or the 32 car is going to pick up the pace on it. Still the opportunity to beat him.
I think the Trickle team and the other team were playing a little poker with each other. During the last caution, Trickle's team got tires up on the wall, got the gas can ready, and appeared to be ready to make a pit stop. Trickle's team just stood by doing nothing. Then, a few seconds later, they put the gas can up on a wall and appeared that they were going to make a pit stop. But neither team stopped. They're both on the track and ready to go to distance.
Back come the leaders. There you get the whole interview of the front 7 cars. Trickle stays first, Jarrett stays second. And it's Marlin, Ellis, and Gant continues to climb up through the field in car number 7. All the way from the rear at the beginning, from dead last. Then he fell back. About 18th, 19th, and he's coming again in car 7. Here he is, rolling up into 5th spot. Gets around Sterling Marlin. Correction, gets around Davey Allison.
Harry has pitted and gotten 4 good tires over the thing, so I think he's got better tires, and by these other people not pitting, I think he's in a good position.
That's right. Harry made one extra stop. We're coming off 4 turn-in. Schrader and a couple guys got together and knocked the left front fender off Schrader's car. He's got to do a little bit of work on that thing.
Yeah, he hit Robert Presley, I believe, and it's really messed up Schrader's front end. Here's the story for the moment, however. Number 7. Here is Gant closing on Tommy Ellis.
Harry's just the type of driver that just about the time you rule him out, he fell off the base a while ago, he just starts nipping his way back. He can almost smell the end of a race and smell what it takes to get up there and lead the thing again. He's going to be in contention here in a second.
Gant on those additional tires. He had nothing to lose. He was on the tail end. He was about 20th at the time. Kyle Petty's car is going back to the garage. He will not be around for the end of this one.
Here he comes around. Tommy Ellis also. He's starting to move on up.
Car number 7, Gant to the inside.
Well, I tell you, Tommy Ellis has had an outstanding run today, though. We've got to give him a call. He's really done a great job.
Dick Trickle, a winner here a week ago in the Winston Open, stays first. Dale Jarrett in second. Kyle Petty eliminated. Goes back behind the wall. Sterling Marlin lies third. Gant is 4th. Ellis 5th. Davey Allison is 6th. And except for the domination we're seeing from Trickle right now, there you see him. And you see that stays the same, that interval between 1st and 2nd. They showing everything they have right now, gentlemen?
Well, I tell you what, I think Trickle likes leading this race. I'm sure he's not going to give up that lead without any trouble. But if you look on his back bumper, here comes Jarrett in the 32 car. It's time now. There's no time to play. Everybody's going to run everything they got.
We only have 20 laps to go, so it's time for everybody to move.
19 now. And here comes Jarrett, the Jarrett. What's going through the crew's mind on car 32? Ralph Shaheen can tell us.
Well, Ken, we're with John Irvin. John is the crew chief for Dale Jarrett. It looks like Dale's closing in a little bit.
Well, he is a little bit, but one lap, Trickle run about a little faster. Next lap, Dale will catch up with him. I just hope that Trickle's tires may give up a little bit. The Nesmus Crunch Pontiac's done a good job today. Also, Dale's done a good job. I believe we'll win this race.
Is Dale giving it everything he's got, or is he saving something for the last lap?
I hope he's saving something for the last lap.
Oh, John.
We'll just have to wait and see.
Ken?
Tell old John, John got him a new perm there. You can see it look real good. I like that. Crew chiefs are now getting permanent. What this, I hope Fireball don't hear about this.
Oh, yeah, that's all we need. We're looking good. I'm not going to tell them what you look like today.
17 laps remain. Trickle stays in front. Jarrett stays in second. Here's Jarrett closing up a little. And they've drawn away by about 20 car lengths from third-place runners Sterling Marlin and Tommy Ellis.
What you got to be careful for, Ken, is we've seen it all day long. The leaders get to fighting and burn the tires off the cars. The guys in third and fourth start moving up. If these two front guys get to running hard, the other group can catch them. So they're going to have to almost pace themselves on the ragged edge right to the end of the race.
Harry Gant is strong because he just got by Sterling, and we all know how strong Sterling's been all day. So I think Harry may have a shot at him.
Those two front guys work on each other real hard. It'll make it a lot easier on Harry to close it up.
They're running single file at the moment. Gant is clear of everything but the two leaders, Trickle and Jarrett.
By Igloo Products Corporation, makers of America's favorite ice chests, including the Igloo Playmate, the Igloo Family 48 Quart, the Igloo Legend, and the new picnic basket by Igloo. And by You Can Rent, America's fastest growing rent-to-own company with 250 locations nationwide. You Can Rent's impressive lineup of TVs, VCRs, stereos, appliances, and furniture make it a winner on any track. You Can Rent. There's a store in your neighborhood.
Getting down to the end of this one. And coming in sight. What a battle it has been this afternoon. Three drivers contending for the lead as they go down the back straightaway. Dick Trickle first, Dale Jarrett, Harry Gant, all locked in the war for the lead.
I think Trickle must have slowed a little bit. They ran him down real quick. See him going low, and his car is shaking in the back. Is that car getting loose, Neil?
It looks like it is. He's having some kind of trouble because they're really closing the gap on him in a hurry now.
16 cars in the lead lap. 191 laps have been completed. Working lap 192. Has Gant got anything left?
I'll tell you what, I think he's got a lot left. He closed up on those other two cars in a hurry, and it's just going to be interesting right now to see if he can put the move on them. These cars can get pretty wide here at the end of the race, though.
Sterling Marlin fourth, Tommy Ellis fifth, Davey Allison sixth, Hensley's in seventh, Earnhardt's in eighth.
Ken, I'm reminded of our earlier World Sports production at Daytona where we saw this Grand National cast on a racetrack. Once again, it was Harry Gant and Dale Jarrett in there. Instead of Dick Trickle, it was Dale Earnhardt and Greg Sachs who were in it right at the end. And as you recall, as you watch Harry Gant go high there and to the outside, Dale Jarrett ran out of gas in the late lap, took himself out of the victory. I'm sure he's in pretty good fuel situation now after all the yellow flags we've had today. But we wondered about Harry Gant. We've already pointed out that he can smell the barn at the end of the race. There's no better closer in stock car racing, and it's going to be a question of how many laps he has left and whether there's enough strength in that number 7.
What just happened in that preceding lap, Neil, when we saw Gant fade high and Jarrett all the way on the bottom?
Again, I believe what you're seeing is the two lead cars have locked down on that white line in the corner. They virtually say, if you want to go by me, you can have the outside of that racetrack. You're not going to get by on the inside. Harry's no fool. He's not going to wait till the last lap to try. He's testing that outside and see if he can work out there. The guy that passes is almost going to have to root his way up under somebody off of the corner or pass him on the outside.
Coming by. 194 laps now complete.
Jarrett really puts the pressure on Dick Trickle right in the middle on the very bottom of the racetrack here. But then neither one of those guys are giving up the inside. Somebody's going to have to try that outside.
You saw Gant up there. He may want to make that run. Here's Gant on number 7, beginning to close ground again on the 32.
The only thing about that, Ken, he tried that outside and lost ground. Can you physically get out there and make that move and be able to pass?
And with these V6s, you don't have quite that much under your foot. You've got to keep them wound up.
If you lift off the throttle, the guy in front of you makes you lift for a second, it takes a while to get it going again. You've got to keep the throttles open on that
strategy here for that second-place man, number 32, Jarrett?
I don't know. It looks like he's got some pretty good strategy right now. He was trying the inside. It looked like Trickle's hit it for the infield, though. They're not gonna, it's going to be hard to pass even with a better race car right now.
Trickle, again, he's been here since 1973 and one race or another on this racetrack. Won the Winston Open a week ago. Looks good right now.
What's the key to this thing right now? One guy might can hold off one car, but we're lucky enough to have 3 cars here. You can't block 2 at the same time, so we're going to have to see which way they decide to go.
One thing we've got to understand, Trickle has a Dale Earnhardt type of aggressiveness, so you're going to have to take it from him, but you better be ready to go sideways.
Good racing this late in the race to have 3 guys with this strong a shot at it.
197 down as they come by this time.
They almost look too peaceful coming by. Something's fixing to happen.
Sterling Marlin 25 car lengths back. Davey Allison is closed up on Ellis. Ellis is in 5th. Front 3 to decide it all. $277,000 up.
You always hear about saying, I'm cooling tires. They're doing everything. They're putting everything in the bank right now. They're looking at the other guy. They know what his car do. They know what theirs do. Everybody's getting ready to make that one move. And when one guy makes it, they're all going to have to react.
I think Harry knows if he moves on Dale Jarrett now, it'll give Trickle the race. So he's hoping that Jarrett will move on Trickle, then he can take advantage of that situation.
Just joining us, coming to you live on World Sports from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Last 2 laps of the Champion Spark Plug 300. Trickle, Dale Jarrett, Harry Gant fighting for first place.
It's hard to beat a 160-mile-an-hour chess game. That's what they're playing.
White flag this time by.
It almost makes you wonder, are they played out or is something fixing to happen? We're going to find out here in just a second because they're fixing to see the white flag right now.
Well, they've got to do it right now because this is the last lap.
I wonder if Trickle laid back a little, trying to give that car just a bit of a breather when those other 2 came up. No, sir. Here comes Jarrett another time. Gant comes with him. Last lap, midway down, half a lap to go. Dick Trickle stays first, keeps that Pontiac there. The Pontiac of Dale Jarrett tries the inside. The Buick of Harry Gant with him, driving for the finish. Jarrett down to the bottom. Here they come to the line. As they come to it, it's going to be Jarrett.
Jarrett beat him by 2 foot. What a race.
What a move. Look at those guys in the pits, huh? Is that awesome?
Dale Jarrett, 33 years old, has just won his second Champion Spark Plug 300 with a great move in the last lap, last turn.
Well, we said he was putting it in the bank. He just made the big withdrawal and pulled it all at one time.
That's his 4th Grand National career win. He's won before, a couple of times on the short tracks at Rougemont, at Hickory, North Carolina, almost the home track for Dale Jarrett. And, of course, he won here at Charlotte in 1988. What a run. Look at this again.
And he did it the hard way. You know, the tires, everybody's used up tires. He sticks it down under him, and right here is just a drag race off that corner. And this dogleg in this track is an advantage to that inside guy. And he cuts the corner across on him, and that's the amount he wins the race by, what it took a cut on inside that track.
How important was Gant in all of that in the 7?
That little bit of push right there might not have been but just a little bit, but it was a help. I know he's got to feel good after that and was as close as it was.
Oh, that's the best run he's ever had in his life. What a magnificent moment for him. His dad, Ned Jarrett, was out here a little while ago and was saying they were very excited about the potential for that car today. And they really put... Who do you think gets the Goodies headache award? We'll get back to that in a minute. The excitement is right down there in Victory Circle as Dale Jarrett, a North Carolinian, born and bred, son of the 50-time Winston Cup winner, Ned Jarrett, has won it. Let's go right down to Victory Lane.
All right, Kevin. Jarrett, obviously a lot of people around him, and we're trying to get a microphone in here to talk to him as soon as he gets his helmet off. Dale, congratulations on the race. Tell me about that last lap move.
Well, I tell you, Dick's car had been getting just a little bit loose, but this Nestle Crunch Pontiac was good all day long. I tell you, just, you know, the pit stop, the guy did a great job getting me out there, and I just been working him, and finally he got a little bit too loose up there, and my car stuck right to the bottom, and hey, just a great feeling. The guys did a great job today getting me in and out of the pits. That helped us a lot.
Had you been planning that move? Were you trying to set him up that way?
Well, I was trying to find out where I could beat him. I could beat him in 1 and 2, but he was a little stronger with the motor than what I was, so I couldn't ever get up beside him. He'd been washing up in the corner down there, so I was trying to get to where I could get it on the very bottom and maybe beat him. Just never know. It's just a chance that you take.
A fantastic finish for Dale Jarrett and the crew of the Nestle's Crunch Machine. Ken?
It's a Pontiac in first place at the end this afternoon of the Champion Sparkplug 300. Let's talk with Dick Trickle about what went on out here today.
Dick Trickle in an exceedingly close and difficult finish. Dick, tell me about the finish. What happened?
He's been up there, and all like I said, he helped them.
Dick, tell me about the finish. What happened there?
Well, I got loose some last 10 laps. It got worse down to the finish. And I was actually trying to run down on the bottom to give him the outside. And I got down in there, and the car just shook a little bit in the bumps down there and rattled sideways. And he got his nose under me. And, you know, Gant put his nose with him, you know, and with the two of them powering me, they beat me to the line, you know. And, I thought I could still give him the line if Gant would have been with me, but he took his line, so helped push him up, you know, the line. And just got a little loose and bobbled in the bumps just enough where I couldn't mat it real good up in that turn.
Going into 3 in that last lap, did you know you were going to have a problem?
I really didn't, because I was actually taking it easy so that wouldn't happen. I was staying low to make sure that if he went, he had to go high. But I think I cut too low a little bit and got just in a couple extra bumps. You know, I kind of come in and just got a bad line in there, and the car had to shuffle right up off of 4. And, you know, it was just you know, the car was loose, and I was trying to protect it. I just didn't do a good job that time, you know. And, about the same thing happened to me in the white flag lap of the Open, you know, but I was managed to get that win back, and, of course, this time I couldn't motor him to the line.
Things have evened up for Dick Trickle. He won one by about 8 inches. He lost one by about...
I'm Bob Varsha with you from Charlotte Motor Speedway, where we're wrapping up the Champion 300. Our True Value Master Mechanic Award, I don't think it could go to anybody but Chris Carrier, who put together Harry Gant's car overnight, and Harry darn near won this race from the back of the field. Our Igloo Products Winners Award has to go to Dale Jarrett, who didn't make the show a week ago in Hickory, North Carolina, comes back for a spectacular victory over Dick Trickle today. A great race. Thanks for being with us. Now back up to Ken Squire.
And the good people at Goodies, their award has to go to Dick Trickle, the way this one came out. Thank you for being with us. Tremendous race. Dale Jarrett is victorious over Dick Trickle at the finish line in Harry Gant. For Ralph Shaheen, Charlie Harville, Neil Bonnet, Johnny Hayes. With us, Mark Pfister today, and Bob Varsha, Ken Squire, bidding you adieu from this Memorial Weekend celebration at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, where a North Carolinian really showed his colors. Congratulations, Dale Jarrett.
This World Sports presentation of the Champion Sparkplug 300 has been brought to you by True Value. For quality, selection, and personal attention, make True Value Hardware your store of first choice. By Goodyear Eagle Radials, the best-selling radials in the world. And by today's truck, Chevrolet. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.